Welcome to the big show, everybody. It's Saturday night, so it's Modern Comic Mayhem time. I hope everyone's ready for a very awesome show that we have tonight. Marco, keyword music.
Yeah, that's this time.
Welcome, everybody. We've got a great show tonight. We got Tony coming on to talk Stray Dogs 3 with that crazy twist into it. We've got some He-Man. We've got all kinds of cool stuff in store. We got
Mortal Kombat going on. We got a bunch of other stuff too. We're gonna cover a couple books. We're gonna do some of the favorite segments that we've heard before. What is that segment called again, Kyle?
It's called Keep, Burn, or Sell.
Good stuff.
So tonight, it's me, everybody, the host of Modern Comic Mayhem, Kyle. Next, I have the almost hated by, except for Gonzo, the most hated man in Star Wars. We've got Marco. We've got the awesomeness was Gonzo. He's so awesome, I can't even really introduce him, except his awesomeness. We've got the best beard in the game, the guy who doesn't know anything about Star Wars, Solo Wookie. And again, we have Travis from Comic Exposure with his dropping the teacher knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
How's everybody doing tonight?
Good.
I'm glad that Marco's all stretched out, and it also sounds like someone's burrito is ready.
I was about to say the
burrito.
Somebody's burrito's done. Let's get that big
dinner before all this.
For some reason, I just want like a cherry slushy at this point. I don't know why, but it reminds me of.
Wheeze in the juice.
Right.
As I'm looking at myself and I realize I am like in Pauly Shore cosplay. I'm either Pauly Shore or one of the Frog Brothers from the Lost Boys. I don't know which one is more appropriate. I don't like vampires, guys.
Yeah. Hey, so we were going to originally start this off with the 7-minute trailer for Mortal Kombat, but then I mean, they just put it on HBO. And by the way, for all you people that keep hating me about if you're going back to movie theaters or not, no, man. No. Okay, then please tell me you didn't watch this at home. But we're going to cover Mortal Kombat real quick. I think that's how we're going to start, right?
Yes.
All right. I don't know, man. I just throw a bunch of clips together. And I love, because when I was a kid, they had this. I remember this is the first game we were playing in the arcade. Like, we go to the pizza store all the time. I'd be begging for quarters because I didn't have a lot, and just I'd save up the 6 quarters I had. And even if I won, I had to wait because like I didn't want to waste all my quarters. And I think they did a great job with this. I know Gonzo, how many times did you see this already?
Yeah, I already watched it twice.
I thought it was good. What was it, an hour and 50 minutes too? And they came with
close to 2, yeah.
The only thing was that I did a Cage, right? I was like, if they're going to do all these characters, why didn't they have Cage in it? And then the end came up.
Yeah.
I know, Gonzo, your opinion on some of this stuff, like you didn't like the Scorpion. See, I thought it was,
you know what it is though. I got when that first trailer came out, I got super excited because it looked like they were going to feed off the story of Scorpion's Revenge, that animated movie. So I got really excited, and then when I saw it, I was like, all right, well, they're going with a different way, but I enjoyed it. I liked it. It was still good.
Well, I think they were. Go ahead.
I was going to say, this is kind of off topic, but you said you always come with your 6 quarters.
Yeah.
I picture you standing outside the arcade going, hey, man, hey, you got a quarter so I can play Mortal Kombat?
No, it was really sad. If you want, yeah, I mean, that's funny.
Hey, Marco, get out of here. No, man, I got 2 quarters today. Can I play Mortal Kombat?
Yeah, no, it was a little worse than that. It was like I returned a couple cans so I could get quarters and stuff because we have a return policy here. Yeah, it was bad.
Shopping cart, like
it was bad. No, I would do it because they had a party store on the corner, and then the pizza joint had the arcade in it. It only had one game. It wasn't an arcade. It was a pizza shop.
I told you got to turn the bottles in first.
Yeah. So I'd go down there and I wanted, because like the other kids played it too. Like my friends played it, but they had money, so like I play a game, and then when it was like, okay, next 2, put your quarters in, and I'm like, I'll sit this one out. You want pizza? No, I'm not going to eat pizza. I mean, I think that's why I'm fat now, because now I got money, so I eat all the food. You know what I mean?
Who was your go-to character on the original version?
Scorpion. He was. Yeah, I loved it. I was either. The funny part was I was either one of the two. I was either Scorpion or I was Sub-Zero. So
was it back forward B or is it forward back B? What was the?
It was forward back B, right? So you went. Because you had to tap it so fast, so it didn't matter if you did one or two. You just had to go forward, and then you had to do the double back and B, and then over here, which was cool because in that movie, and this is what you're saying, Gonzo, you thought it was going to be one portion. They kind of hit everything up, right? They covered a lot. Yeah. They covered like a lot of the games. They covered the animated stuff. So they did like the get over here, which I was waiting. I was waiting forever for him just to say because I love Scorpion. Get over here, and like there's so many times like when he was originally not Scorpion yet, and you're like, and you saw him shoot it right through that dude's head, and you're like, he's gonna say get over here, and he didn't.
I said it for him probably 10 times, and my girlfriend's like, why do you keep saying that? Because she never played. So every time that I said it, she was just like, why do you keep saying, finish him or fatality or toasty or any of these things? Why do you keep at? And it was like, babe, hold on, I'll show you. And then I started showing her clips, and she's like, I get it now.
I think that I like that part, but it was a little weird because he's only speaking Japanese through the beginning of it. So somewhere in hell, there's an English language learner course where he gets down to hell. And he's like, I'm Mr. Beelzebub. I'm going to be your English teacher. Let's go through the main phrases. Like, hey, get Behan, over here. Right? Yeah, Behan was Chinese, which I didn't know. One was Japanese Chinese, and one was Chinese, which that rivalry right there is pretty intense alone. Japanese and Chinese. There's a lot of history there.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. And then when they did the flawless victory, I was like, ooh, and yes, it was. Yes, it was a flawless victory. That's hilarious, dude. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the whole Chinese thing, the whole Chinese-Japanese thing was a little throw off too, because then why would you he speaks English, right? Apparently, or a language that somebody understands, because later on he's speaking Sub-Zero speaking English all the time, but he only speaking Chinese. Whatever, man. Who cares? It was good. I liked it. I don't care. I'll watch it again. One
of the other things I really loved is if you've ever seen Hot Tub Time Machine, where the guy is like, he's going to lose his hand. When you see Jax, they make sure that he's got these two arms, and you're just like, ooh, because it's just like he's shirtless, cut off sleeves, he's folding his arms, and you're just like, not good.
Yeah.
The whole Jax part got me.
How about they gave him baby arms?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Gonzo. Sorry, man.
It got me. It was a little confusing. So, like, he had like the skeleton metal, and then he got to fight. He got all crippled, and then all of a sudden, like, boom, 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 it all appeared. Like, I didn't get that.
It was the power thing.
Yeah, that was his cut. What do they call it? Arcana.
Arcana.
Yeah, Arcana. There you go. That's his mojo, man. Like everybody has their mojo. Everyone's got their special mojo.
You had a problem with that, but you didn't have a problem with how they had to explain how you could steal the tattoo off somebody. That was the one thing I was like,
I was like, what was up with that?
Yeah. What's his name? They had him explain how he stole his from pretty much what sounded like a pedophile, right? Like somebody was human trafficking kids or something like that.
You talking about Kano?
Yeah, where he was like, I stole it off. Yeah, where he's like, I took it off of some guy who was an older gentleman who was he sounded like he was trafficking kids. Did anybody else pick that up?
Can I get that Mortal Kombat thing from you?
Well, like in most films, they have like a Chekhov's gun. This is like a Chekhov's tattoo. Like if you see it in the first act, it's gonna come back at the end.
Yeah, and then she just stole it from Kato. She stole hers from Kato at the end. But,
and I kind of saw that, but the way they wrote that, you could see it coming. Like, I know how she's gonna get her tattoo transfer. Absolutely. Like that's coming up.
Well, they always had beef and throughout the whole games and everything. There's always beef between those two.
What I didn't understand is how she took care of Kato. She threw like why would you just throw the alcohol all over him so then when it lights him up, it's going to set him on fire? Instead, you threw it into his eye and it's short-circuited it? Like, I didn't get that part.
I didn't get that part either.
I was thinking how it's going to transfer in the porno.
I thought when she threw it on him, I thought, like, his whole face was going to get burned up. And then,
me too.
Say, well, like, everything, when you saw little sparks in his eye, we were like, oh. Oh.
Well, and to be fair, much like Godzilla versus King Kong, I went into this movie expecting an entertainment movie. I was not sitting down in front of my set going, "Come on, Emmys, come on, Golden Globes, Grammys, we're gonna take them all." You know what I mean? Like I went in absolutely sitting down going, "This is purely for entertainment, and I hope they do better than the '96, movie." And it delivered. I thought it delivered in the whole. I thought it did awesome. I hope they do another 2 or 3 off of this line.
When Solo Wookiee dies, I'm going to pay for the autopsy on his brain to understand how that motherfucker works. Because he will go like, this movie was so unrealistic and there's so many things wrong. And then it's like, yeah, Mortal Kombat, guy throws a thing in there, doesn't sound so. Yeah, but we're not looking for it to be realistic. We're just looking for it to entertain. I want to know how that works someday. I really do. That's the movie I want. Solo's brain and how that works, because I don't get it. I don't get it.
I should totally write a movie because people would love it. It'd be about 30 minutes long, and the guy would just get shot. Like there wouldn't be this drawn out. He wouldn't come back.
No talking, just a lot of hand gestures.
They would just unload on a dude. Yeah. He'd be dead, and it's Finn. At the end of the Finn, at the end of the movie, that's it.
For those who aren't watching the Star Wars show on Sunday, check it out because that's what Gonzo's referring with the hand figures there, and you might find out. Sorry, Travis, didn't mean to cut you out.
No worries. The show. Was there any disappointment in that it wasn't a tournament style?
No,
a little bit.
Really?
I really did want a tournament, but then once I realized it's going to spread out between three movies, I was like, okay. Yeah. But yeah, it kind of was a tournament, not tournament though, because Raiden sent everybody to all these different locations, right?
Yeah, you had the sets, you had the different tournament sets and stuff like that. But yeah, the old movie did such a good job of getting them to the tournament quickly. It was like 20 minutes of exposition, tournament. And so I kept waiting for at about the 40-minute mark. I'm like, oh shit, there's no tournament in this.
Yeah.
But I thought it was. But I thought what you just passed over, you kind of passed over. But I thought that was like the tournament aspect of it, or at least it called back to the video games. Which I don't care if it's a tournament, as long as you call back to the video games, right? And when you were playing on the arcade, it was kind of you were playing PvP, right? Like that's what that game was. It was PvP a lot of times. So like player versus player. So the tournament, I don't care. I wanted PvP, and when they put it into that aspect of it, I guess that's why I liked it better. Like if they did a tournament, it would be Ninjago. Is somebody making fun of player versus player because I'm abbreviating it? Okay, good. Because I could see how that could go south.
I was trying to make it go south.
Yeah, I know you probably were. But yes, so I definitely didn't have a problem with that because that just reminded me of my youth and how we play. I mean, I guess there is more storyline to it.
There definitely was a lot of more like the arcade, like you said, the player versus the player. But like, I was hoping for a tournament. I did want to see a tournament.
Isn't it so cool? Like, remember when you were a kid and you get your video game and then they had that little booklet in there and there'd be like a little tiny page that had like 4 sentences of the backstory of these characters because they needed it. Yeah. And your head as a kid would fill in this world, like, oh, they're enemies with, like, it's just like Sub-Zero, enemy of Scorpion, like this. And you're like, oh man, this must go back, way back. And now we get to see all this stuff come out.
Yeah, no, so I think that fulfilled both aspects of it then. So if you were like an arcade player, it was great for the arcade player. And then I guess if you were the home video game player, it probably played pretty well because you got some of the story. I thought it was really cool when they actually did the pit where the fire came. The finishing moves were done so well because I kind of remember the original movie. And like, I know they were trying and the technology was what it was at that time. But if I saw like the scorpion head thing open up out of his hand instead of like the sword thing come out and get him, I think I would have lost my stuff and been like, okay. But I actually thought they did a really good job. And then when he had him on the pit and said, what is this? And the finishing moves are coming off and the fire dragon comes up. Like
I enjoyed that one the best.
I mean, that was really cool. I was like, that was really cool.
Liu Kang is so dope in this movie. Like, he's so great. Like, just comes across the screen magnetic. I'm like, give me more of this guy because I thought it would be hard to beat the old Liu Kang because I like that actor. He was great.
Yeah, no, that was the tough out of the old movies. That probably was the toughest actor and tough that they did it. They did a good job with it that way, and that's what I'm saying. When they start coming up against Cage and stuff, like we're gonna have to see, dude. I'm excited for the next movie, and once again, I'll be watching it on HBO also.
Have they cast the Cage? Have they cast the Cage yet?
They start to show the legs. I don't know. Like it looks like they have it ready to go. Don't you think?
When he did his bicycle kick, I was a little disappointed he didn't do the turkey call. That was one of the things that kind of was a downer for me. I was like, there's no I mean that's iconic. You can't have him do that bicycle kick and not do that call. That's that sets her home.
Did they do the spinning lightning move?
No, they never did.
Nah.
They're saving that for the next movie. Yep.
Yeah, another movie.
I do like how they showed
had a bigger part.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I thought when he first came in the beginning, when he took the baby to safety, and just the way he appeared with the lightning and everything coming up, I'm like, oh man,
because he'd always beat you, right? Raiden would always beat you in the video game, but
he's such a BA, man. He's such a badass.
His finishing off move was too tough to do in the arcade, but he was like. If there's that one kid that you hated and you just wanted to punch in the back of the head, that somehow could get it done, and he'd win all the time because it was over.
That's what I was saying. Nothing realizes how much you hate your friends.
I think they were kind of laying it up. Because I felt much the same way, and then when I looked at it, I thought they were kind of laying that out for the next movie. Hey, we're gonna really bring in Raiden in this second one. If we get enough out of this first one, we'll have more Raiden and Shang Tsung and all that in the second one.
But it was an hour 30. It was an hour 30, or no, hour 50, right? And it was like an hour 4. It was hour 53, and it was like an hour 48-ish, hour 45 playtime. Like that's pretty good to put all that stuff in that movie. I mean, how much did you? Plus, they sawed a woman in half with it. I mean, like
I saw that split. I was like, oh.
Yeah. Flawless victory. I mean, somebody else put it here. It said flawless victory, and they were. I mean, they're right. That it just was. It was crazy, man.
Do you think that they purposely in this first one got rid of some of the more B-side villains in Mortal Kombat? You know, they're still saving. I feel like some people. I think
I think you're right, but I think they still had some of them, right?
Well, Goro.
Goro.
Yeah.
What'd you guys think of Goro? Did you guys like the way they did him? I thought it was great.
Hulk.
I was waiting to be critical of him and like everything, including like when he gave like the snap his arm back, and he gave this look one time where he gets hit and he just goes, and you're like, that's what he would do. That's exactly what I mean. It was so I was waiting for the animation maybe to mess up or something, because if you remember in the original movies, there was really some animation. There was like some, like CG issues and stuff like that were happening. And this one, it was flawless. I mean, listen, some of the characters some of the characters and stuff had a couple interesting lines in it. Or actually, what's her name? I didn't like the actress that played her. She kind of got on my nerves a little bit, but that's a personal choice. Yeah, Sonya. Yeah, it was like the I'm trying to be too tough hard, and like her voice would start to crack, but like my voice sucks anyway, so I'm not criticizing anybody else for their voice. So
I don't know, it kind of sounded like you were. But in fairness,
I realize it. You know what I mean?
I like the mixing in of the original soundtrack kind of callbacks to that as well. That was really cool to hear that. It's so iconic. Remember, how much do you think that soundtrack increased laser tag, sales? You remember that shit? Like you go to any laser tag place and it's like, all right, Kyle, thanks for inviting me to your birthday. Okay. It's like, Mortal Kombat. I think they're still playing that shit in laser tag places today. It's like the ultimate laser tag soundtrack.
Yeah, it is. It's. I mean, I hear that theme song all the time. Hockey games, football games, any of that stuff. You're absolutely right. You nailed it.
Yeah.
Oh, she was. JJ Maxwell just put something. She was the teacher from Billy Madison. Yeah.
Is that what I thought she looked familiar from something?
Thanks, JJ Maxwell.
How come a lot of the chicks from Adam Sandler movies, they get hot after they do that movie?
But that was the original Sonya. Was that teacher from Billy Madison? Yeah, she'd be old now. Get that shit out of here.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
so since we're thanking people in chat, yeah, nice comment. Thank you, Dwayne Scott, telling me that I'm going through puberty and that's why my voice sucks. Appreciate Kenny, Stick Boys, always good to see you. Mojo, what's going on? Joe, we got a great chat again. Make sure you guys hit the like button and isn't there a bell thing you're supposed to hit? Do whatever you're supposed to do. You know the rules. You do it. We love
There's
it.
There's a bell that you turn on and make sure it looks like it's ringing because that's how you know you get all your notifications.
Yeah, either way. So definitely a good movie. I think we're all looking forward to number 2. Do you think they'll do like the Scorpion and Health thing? I liked that was one thing that Gonzo said he didn't like, so we can bring it up. The Scorpion costume. Did you guys have a problem with the?
I didn't care for it.
I liked it.
Yeah, I wasn't.
It was just too samurai-ish.
Yep.
Like, you know what I mean? Like Sub-Zero, I didn't like that he was just all black. Like there was no blue to him if you really think about it. Like there was I like, unless I don't know, maybe I was watching it and just didn't really pay attention, but like to me there was like no blue on Scorpion.
No, I'm with you.
I was Sub-Zero.
I was going to say that too. Yeah, I agree. Sub-Zero, I liked Scorpions better than I liked Sub-Zero.
I do have to agree with that, but yeah, as Scorpion is just too samurai.
It looks like they rated the costume closet to Ninja Turtles 3.
I'll give you that.
Yeah.
I didn't have a problem with it, but now that the more you mention it, yeah, it was so Sub-Zero had an outlining
where can we cut corners
rim of it on his stuff. But you're right, yeah. And then they would use blue tint all the time. Like if you notice, the ice in the rooms were always blue tint when he was in it. Yeah. So I mean, I guess you're right. They could have added better coloring to it. But if that's the worst thing we're hitting up, is like how the color coding.
Absolutely, yeah. The costume's a costume. You can always do like how many different people took the mantle of Sub-Zero. So maybe we'll get another different Sub-Zero with a better costume. I don't know.
His freeze powers are awesome.
Sword though.
I did like how he used I liked how he did the freezing thing, and then there was that one, and we had it in the run through when we were doing it, where he created an ice statue of himself with the thing and tried to stab Scorpion with it. It was pretty good. The fight scenes I really liked the fight scenes too, but I'm a big fan of a lot of that, like the Korean movies and the early Japan stuff. I know we're still going, Joe. But either way, so I thought it was good. I mean, I thought it was good. I like the Titans of South stuff, so it was really great. It was a 2-hour movie, Joe. What do you want out of us? All right, I guess they're telling us to move on. What are we going to move on?
I guess we're going to move on to He-Man.
He-Man
real,
it is.
Real quick, go around the horn. What did you guys think? Like an A, a B, a C, an A-? Like, what if you had to grade it, what was your grade? Start with you, Kyle.
I gave it a B+ just for the gore. It's just the gore alone. Just nice action. It reminded me of like it wasn't quite, but you ever seen the movie The Raid?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Just good fucking bloody kung fu.
Nice. Marco?
Yeah, I give it an A. I like it. I like the kung fu aspect of it, like the whole, like you said, Raid or any of the early Kurosawa stuff that they did in there. I like it because it did callbacks to like the game, so that was cool. Hey,
Gonzo?
I have to go with Kyle. I'll give it a B+. I definitely. I can't wait for the next one because I want that tournament and the costumes. To me, it was just some of the costumes. Like,
Yeah. Okay. I was going to go B on it, but I think I'm going to go A because I think it delivered on what it was, and I was thoroughly entertained. I do wish that in kung fu movies, if they didn't cut the quick cuts as much and let that kind of play out a little bit more, maybe like the original. But I enjoyed it, and it wasn't a movie that I was dying to see, so it got me interested.
I definitely was leaning towards B+. I think I'm gonna have to go with an A-. The more we talk about it, the more I like the throwbacks that we're in.
You're right. I totally agree with you, Marco. When you die, I cannot wait to see what your brain looks like when they cut you open.
Trust me, you don't want to go in there alone. Bring a friend.
Originally, I thought it was like hamsters in a wheel, but now I think there's like hamsters in a wheel, and every once in a while, like there's like something blowing out a birthday cake, and then like a little like DOS load up. There's like DOS load up, yeah, monkeys hit, and then the DOS load up green screen comes up and something pops out. I mean, that's what I'm thinking.
I think it's an old lady weaving.
That just tells a story every once in a while. All right. I could deal with that. I could deal with the old lady weaving.
Sometimes her weave machine gets all bound up and she has to fix it.
I think Travis is probably as close of a description as I've heard.
All right. So there is a show coming out on Netflix, The Masters of the Universe, and it is done by Kevin Smith. They have the preview for this week or this month's previews has this cover on it, and actually they just dropped what the actual first book looks like for number 1. They're going to do a comic that follows it. Pretty much, Kyle, do you want to go over what the cartoon's going to be about on Netflix?
You want to read what's on there?
I don't care what you do. Read it or summarize it.
Yeah, what it is. It's Kevin Smith doing it.
Good stuff. Good picture, bro.
He's getting together and releasing it in 2012. It releases. I don't know. What do you want me to say?
Good. All right. So
it's pretty good.
Sold that pretty good.
There's a very interesting thing. There's 2 covers for it.
That's what I was going to get to.
That's what you had to get. Yeah.
Brilliant.
So this is the other cover. Yeah, the Manola cover. Which, if for people are wondering,
Manola.
Whoever's wondering why it looks like that, he's the guy that does Hellboy, and that's how he draws. So
you thought someone would have stopped him.
Well, you thought they would have had. You know what you thought they would have had? They would have had Dave Wilkins. You thought they would have had Dave Wilkins draw a cover for cover number 1, but instead they don't. So and this is what you get.
Is there some Magnolia hate on the show? Is that we don't like this?
No.
Okay.
No. That's not it. They took the main artist, and he's going to do the rest of them, but they don't have him on the first one, which is kind of interesting. And I'm not saying hate, but I'm a Davis fan, and whatever. So, anyways, go ahead.
I just would have been if I was, if Mike would have turned this in, I would have been like, I know we all love Hellboy. It kicks ass, but are you sure this is what you want to turn in? Is there any small adjustments you'd like to make?
Small.
Like the He-Man's upper left shoulder that seems to be melting.
I think the sword is stronger than He-Man.
JJ, this is the only thing. There is no Wilkins cover for the first group. The first is you got Sevet, and you got this, but you do have no Wilkins for the first cover. So just so everybody knows, that's what we're looking at.
And I do like Manola covers. I enjoy them. It took me a while to get used to them, but like this Hellboy stuff, I really love. This one's a little wonky, totally, but after I looked at it, I think I'd warm up to it more.
You'd warm up this
in a short box in my collection.
It'll look great in the 50-cent bin. So then, just for the people that don't know,
I'd buy that for $1.
I'd buy that for $1. Just for those that don't know, we're actually going to have Mark Hamill will be playing the voice of Skeletor. So I decided to get the best pictures I could of Mark Hamill and Skeletor.
Mark Hamill.
That him too.
I think he does a Star Wars show. I think he knows who Mark Hamill is.
All right. Up next. So that's what we got on that. That's a little bit of a review of Masters. Hopefully it wasn't too long for Joe. I know he doesn't think.
Well, on the Skeletor thing, do you have to do the cackle kind of voice, right? Or do you think he could take it in a completely different direction and it would be accepted?
I think he's got to do the cackle, but you know what? He did a good job with Joker, so maybe he'll do a.
Wait! What was that picture?
Dude, he's an awesome.
You'll see it.
He's an awesome Joker voice.
He is. Yeah, he does a great job with Joker. That's kind of why I brought it up, because I think finally, as bad as that Skeletor was in there, that was from the movie. I think he's going to do a good job. He's really good at a voice actor, and he does a great job at. He does a really great job at villains. All right.
Definitely on the burn list.
Yeah. I actually think it'll be good. I actually think this Masters of the Universe is actually going to be good. I think with Kevin Smith. But we do have some more news. Yeah, it is going to be animated new fix. We do have some more news. Kyle, this is Kyle outside of the LCS. He actually bought this. He put this book on the reading list. I joke you not. We're gonna review it for all those people that were looking at it. We actually are gonna review this. And Godzo had said it too. Early in the week, we pick our books before anything goes out, and he put this book on there, and we're like, "Nah, bro." we made him buy it, and it may have been, well, not to spoil it, may have been the best buy of his life. So we are going to review Unikorn later on today, just for those people that want to know what this book is about and haven't heard the big news. Then while we're doing this, we review it, and the Bearded Jesus was in here himself and said, like, you know, that book's on the top 10. And we're like, we did not know that. So here,
top 10 because only 10 issues altogether came out for this.
Oh, jeez, man.
They all sold.
I got number 1.
Yeah, he paid $1.99 for that book.
1 of 10. That's what Kyle got.
Yeah, we read the preview, and he's like, "You're gonna pick this up, right, Marco?" I go, "No, man, I'm not. No, but you were gonna buy it, so I made him buy it." And he, as you can see, has a copy of this book in hand. So good for you.
So my thought was on this was like, okay, first off, it's a number 1. And they spell corn like the band. I was like, it can't be bad. And it's not bad, and it's different, and it's a number 1.
The description's about a little girl whose grandma gives her a horse with a nub. Yeah, that's not something. The first words that came out of my mouth was, "Did you read the description for this book?" And you're like, "It's got corn on it with a K." I go, "Bro, read the description. Here's the description, man." Well, I was wrong. Well, I mean, we just spoiled it, but okay, all right. I don't know, man. I cannot believe like that. This is just like. It's like the idiots running the insane asylum in this market nowadays.
It's all good, Kyle. Buy what you like. Don't listen to the naysayers and the haters.
My LCS gets their Scout Comics late, so I'm not gonna lie. Like, if I do see it, I might pick it up just to skim through it. But
to have 1 of 11.
Yeah. I'll get 1 of 11. I'll get 1 of 11.
I did try to play it off though. I was like, yeah, I gotta get Unikorn because I have a podcast and I'm reviewing it.
Yeah.
You didn't say that to your.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Good for you. Good for you. And they're
Do you
like,
have
"Hey,
any new books that have magic, wonder, and innocence in them?"
were they like, hey, excuse me, you can only come between the hours of 12 and 2 because after that the ice cream man comes through and we can't have you by children." They say that too because like I would have. You're the guy that I'm gonna give the stink eye for.
When I was looking at the synopsis, it said for ages 2nd to 3rd grade, and I was like, "Fuck!"
Oh, I was reading you all day for this, guys. I'm telling you, you got to wait around for the spoiler. We're gonna have Tony on in a little bit, but after that, we'll do reviews. You got to hear the review on this book, and you got to hear why, because this book is no longer a $2 book. And believe it or not, this book is sold out.
This was a $2 book.
Yeah, it's $1.90.
He wasn't gonna buy it. He goes
$1.99.
So on Tuesday, he was like, "No, it's all right. I'll just cancel it. Don't worry about it. We're good." I said, "No, you put it on the read list. You will buy that book now." So we had to find it so he could buy it. He bought it for $2 from the website Scout Comics and got it shipped to him in time. Because like you have to order on Tuesday because there's no way we'll get it in time. And when did you get it? Yesterday or today? Today. Perfect time.
Did you actually read it though?
Yeah, I read it.
Okay.
It was the first thing I read today. So.
Do you want to just do the review now? Because we're having.
I feel like we have to.
We can.
All right, we'll screw up our things. Here we go. We're adding it. I added a nice pink background for this. So here we go.
Unikorn number 1. So it's pretty much like the synopsis is. It's a little girl. She's in junior high, and she's with her dad.
What's her name, Kyle?
But her mom passes away. Her mom drives off of a bridge and dies, and they never recover the body. And they have to drive over the bridge every day.
What kind of horn is that?
It's a nice big one. And what happens is dad takes the pain of where they lived because it was also her mom was a veterinarian, and they in the back of where the barn was is where the veterinarian office was. So every morning she gets to go there, and she hangs out. And there's a horse there that hates everybody, that doesn't like anybody, doesn't let anybody go near it. And as she's talking to the lady that now lives at that house, she's like, "Oh, your mom wanted you to have this horse when you got to the right age." And so she's like, "Well, there's an instruction manual that comes with this book." So she gives the instruction manual, and it's in a different language, and they had to Google it, look at it, and it's
in Spanish. Unikorn.
And and they're trying to figure out what it is, and it's it ends up being like, it says it's like a Samaric guide, and they Google it, and what it means is unicorn. Big breakthrough there. And she goes, my freaking horse is a unicorn. And what happens is when she's looking at it, she notices that there's like this like weird bump right here. Like it hasn't actually, the horn actually hasn't started to like come out yet. And it's kind of just like, it's like this weird nub looking hole in its forehead. So, and that's where at the end she learns that she has a unicorn and that they're going to go on a magic adventure together.
Okay, so let's explain what happened with this book. This book actually is in production already to make like a movie or TV thing.
So it's got a one of
the
which we didn't know. It like got like one of the girls from Disney.
Option.
Yeah. It's not just option, like it's in production. Like they start casting for it. Yeah.
So like one of the stars of the Disney Channel shows is actually going to be the star of this movie.
So we didn't know that going into it, and then there were still books on Tuesday for it. I was like, you just have to buy it. If you were in the Kickstarter, you got this piece of promotional art. Either way, like, and then you know how this market works. As soon as one person says it's option, it sells out. So within 24 hours later, after Wednesday was done, people got on the book and it sold out.
So is this a live action or animation?
Bro, really, you gonna watch it?
No, but I'm curious to know, like, who decides to pick this up to like,
we'll see if it even we'll see if it
movie.
Well, okay, so the writer of the book's the one that's promoting that it's a movie. So we'll see.
Yeah, it's on like a
it's through Scott. It's through the guy through Scott. Yeah. So
Kyle told me on it. Like I found it sounds like it's a story about a horse with a malignant cyst on his head. And
it does.
That's what
so
we're going
there
through.
is, if you here, let me see if I could bring that part up. It does.
Please
That's
don't,
exactly what it
please.
she's visiting, and if you look right here.
Hey, be careful with that book, Kyle. Don't be so rough with it.
So if you look, see, it's got this weird. It's got like this weird tumor looking thing on its head.
Oh yeah.
He's sad.
And she's kind of like, I'm not sure what it is, but yeah, it looks like it's like a hole.
To play devil's advocate, we're a bunch of grown ass men, and we're naysaying on this. I can see where naysaying on this. I can see where this would really help bring a younger female audience into comic books and buying and reading again.
Okay, bro. This is what happened. No, get out of here.
Marco's eyes
I'm looking at it empathetically. I can see where this could possibly.
Could we cut his brain open? Please cut his brain open.
The way that solicitation was, I wouldn't even get that for my daughter.
Yeah, I wouldn't get for my daughter either. Yeah, my daughter's younger than that.
Yeah,
I wouldn't get that. Nope.
I wouldn't even think about getting it for my daughter.
And by the way, like just like this was we literally bought this book. This is the story. We literally bought this book because Kyle always thinks he's going to do funny things and make me do things I don't want to do. And I told him, you have to spend that $2 to buy that crappy ass book. And now it's a $40 book because it's just the dumbest thing. We stumbled it. We're the best speculation show on this channel.
There you go.
Yes, that's it. That's the truth.
You found that out.
Kyle, I've noticed that Marco has started using the pronoun we, and then when it comes to that #1 book there, so we bought this book, and
there was a lot of argument. There was a lot of argument going back and forth. Like, I'm not going to buy that anymore. It definitely was. He when he said I bought the book because it said I put it on the list because it said corn with a K. Like, that's literally why he put the book on the list.
So you know this. He didn't even read the solicitation?
He didn't read the solicitation. No, I read the solicitation.
I thought it was #1. Bullshit. It's a unicorn with a corn, and I was like, okay, I'm going to try this out.
Yeah, so when I was going through the solicitation, like I was like, this book, I added a couple books too. Like each week, because nobody in the chat does this, we have to add in our own books. So his contribution was unicorns with a K because they spell corn with a K in the band. And I said, mother bleeper, did you read the solicitation? You should go to jail for getting that book because you don't have kids that young. And he goes, what are you talking about? And I sent him the solicitation. And then he said, okay, we're out. And I said, no, you're buying that book now. Like you put it on the list, you buy the book, and I won't be reviewing it. And then
number one spec channel.
Yeah, and then we got called up. Then we got called up earlier today and go, you guys know you're covering a book that made the Hot 10? And we're like, what book's that? They're like, Unikorn. I go, no, absolutely not. So there he goes, best specker on the channel, Kyle. $1.99 turned into 40 bucks easy.
You know what? Eventually, everybody gets lucky.
I don't know, man.
I dream about.
What they say, a wrong clock is always right at least once.
Twice a day.
Twice a day.
I'd clean it and press it and grade it.
Jamie, we got a nickname? We got to go. Come on, we got him. What's going on, Jamie? Glad you're listening to us. Thanks a lot.
Oh yeah.
Hey, it is. You could say everything you want about clocks and everything else. This obviously is a decent. It's not a decent. I can't even sell the book. I can't. I'm sorry.
No, it's.
God bless it. Somebody's work. Somebody put some hard work into that book. Let's put it.
It wasn't horrible. It was definitely not. You could totally go on. It's already done.
Five grown dudes. We're 5 grown dudes talking about a book about unicorns.
Kyle, Kyle, the question is, are you getting issue 2?
I'm gonna get issue 2.
Right. You are also going to get put on a watch list.
I saw that,
right?
Well.
You're going to get put on a watch list.
I'm also going to get the Unikorn tat right there.
Yeah,
Tebow. Give me my tramp stamp.
You're going to get a champ stamp.
Oh, that'll be awesome. That'll be awesome.
I could see where somebody who lost their mom could really relate to this book, and I think that somebody put a lot of hard work into that. And kudos to you guys for whoever made it.
Oh, I found almost.
What is going?
It's a new leaf. It's a new leaf, Mark. I'm positive. I'm positive solo tonight, man. Don't be a hater.
Mortal Kombat. An A. Who are you? Unicorns. An A.
I only yell at kids on my lawn.
8 months. This guy has never said anything positive in 8 months. Today is the day he came out of his cloud to say that everything is great. I'm glad you're having a good day, Solo. Let's keep it up, man. I really do appreciate it. That's it. I'm not going to even clown on him anymore. We got a couple more minutes to burn. Do we want to talk about the con, the dealer con?
Yeah, let's talk about the con.
I got some weird stuff. It's not going to be the usual stuff because we like to do a bunch of different stuff sometimes on the show. So instead of doing the typical, we're going to show some comics. Don't worry, we'll show some comics. But we're also going to show a couple other cool things. I think at least, and the guys agreed that some of them were pretty cool that I picked up. Obviously, if you watch the Star Wars show, you might have seen this, but I'll tell you what it is. It's the old Cage Hulk thing. And this thing's pretty cool because, like, I mean, I got a good deal, obviously, on it. But, like, Hulk definitely busts out of his shirt there. Once again, like.
That is so minty. It is so clean. Really nice.
This box is clean, dude. I mean, it's like, dude, the stuff. And the guy's got a bunch more stuff. I probably shouldn't say. Guy's got a bunch of more stuff coming in next show, so that's cool. But I also did get some Venom stuff for all those people that will remember these. Now these were like $5, so picked up the old. And it is so hard to get the. But that's
top back. Yeah, there you go.
There we go. All clean. Still got the price tag on it. These were all hung up though, so they were there. They were, but I bought that one because I also wanted this one. This is the Bubble Talk one. For people that don't know, there was a Venom that actually started talking. Hey, I can really talk. He's got his little bubbles. Just press the button. You can hear me talk. Should we?
I don't remember that one. That's cool.
Oh. Okay, let's see if we can get it. Die Spider-Man. I'll try to get the one where he says it. He doesn't say. So one of his bubbles say, "I want to eat your brains," which is amazing.
I think that's actually Mark Hamill doing the voice on that, right?
It is. That is Mark Hamill. So there it is. You ready? Can you guys hear that? Yeah.
That's nice. Awesome.
So I got it cheaper than they sold it at Target for on clearance. Just $79.99 on clearance. Got it for $5. So that's pretty fun. I mean, every once in a while, it's just good to go out there and get some cool toys, especially when you start talking about those characters that never go under. And then I got another Mojo too. So
before we get into the Mojo, can I, if you have any listeners that are really good at mixing stuff, that would be a dope track if you just took a bunch of those automated toys like that and string it together in like a mix, like Die Spider-Man, dice, and then some Teddy Ruxpin shit in there. That would be dope.
To get Chucky going in there too.
Yeah.
That would be great.
Awesome.
And then, like, I'm a big fan of Mojo. I don't know why I like them. Everybody's got their favorites, like off, like 8th part. Yeah, really. Kenny, what is happening to them? Everybody's got their like 8th part characters that they like. I always pick up every Mojo book, and some of them aren't as good as other ones. But my son then, because I have a Mojo back there, he kept trying to open it. So being the jerk that I am when I spoil my kids all the time, I just decided to go buy him a Mojo of his own. So now
I
he's
love
gonna
a
have
big chunky toy like that too in that packaging. That's nice.
It is. The only problem I'm worried about is like he's got all the legs. So like, you know, after his race turns big and fat, they can't walk anymore. So they do all the because there's like things in turn. So it's got all those little legs that break all the time. So I'm hoping that I can like hold off for another year or two before I actually have to give it to him.
Jabba the Hutt of X-Men.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, absolutely. Jabba the Hutt of X-Men. So I got those there. That was pretty good. Got some good deals from a friend. As far as what I picked up, I'm not gonna show everything, but I'm gonna show some. So I was buying these in pairs. You know, first cameo of Gabbit, and then this is like the first time Rogue entered the X-Men second appearance. I was getting them for $20 for the pair. These are square bound, and like I always try to buy square bound like in high grade because it's tough when you have to go back to press them. Like everybody knows this from Giant Size X-Men and everything like that. But it's very tough to get into that. So I got a couple of those. I think I got 3 sets of those for $20. Well, it's originally priced on them were $20 for the annuals, and I think he had 15 on the 158s, but it worked out to $55 for the 3 sets. So you do the math on that. Either way, pretty good deal. I'm just picking those up because I like them. I think they're great. Then I got this because I like the drug knots. I like a lot of the G.I. Joe stuff. Nice. And some of these coolers. This was in the 50-cent bin, and the color is just great on it. It's very clean. So you can get some of those. And these are like toys that I did. Well, I only had 2 of these characters when I was a kid. So I really like it. So I picked that book up for that. And then this one right here, I think people are sleeping on this. I got this for $5. This is the RI incentive, the first Marchand Row in there. And it's got buckets of blood on the front cover. So I picked one of those up real quickly. Just was what it was, right? Is what it is.
Can't be what it's not.
Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear.
Yeah, drug nuts. I did also, if we have a little bit more time to burn, I came across a couple of these and I was interested in what was in them. They're doing a lot of that stuff for the annual Pokemon stuff. Like they did the McDonald's thing already. They did the
what the hell is that?
They did the cereals. This is one of the other things. So this is just a bag. They're like, I think they're like
it's just a bag. That's it.
Yeah, it's like a big bag, but like you could tell there's a big card in it. And I was like, I don't know what's in it. It says it includes 2 Pokemon TCG booster packs. It's a Train On first partner pack.
Now Solo knows what it is.
So they're just showing up. They're showing up at your local stores at this time. I kind of was like, hey, man, if they want to see what it's like on the show, we'll open one up and see what's inside of it.
Crack it, baby.
Crack it.
You gonna open it?
A plug for your own show. If you haven't heard Marco's Pokemon McDonald's story, go back several episodes, go listen to it. I thought it was a fantastic story.
Or
how about the one where he beats up the kid because
it wasn't the guy's not a kid. Look, just because I'm older and I refer to him as a kid, he was honestly in like he was a little bit under, probably in older 20s, young 30s. Look, because I call him a kid.
Up little kids
whatever you say, Marco.
In Marco's defense, he had it coming. I heard the full story several times, and the punk had it coming.
Yeah, I can't tell the full story. He did.
You know what happens when you get in front of Marco and pick up cards?
He wasn't like he just won. Okay, all right. We're not gonna tell.
Hey, you get in front of Marco and you take his Pokemon cards. It's fisticuffs, baby.
That's not exactly how it went down. You guys know what happened on that
There
one.
you go.
Don't you take my Pokemon cards.
This, though, was interesting because these were sitting around for a while. I was actually surprised. They had put them out probably on a Friday, and it was still like wet. I went to the Target on Monday, and they had 2 full racks of it. Then I went back on Thursday, and there was still a bunch. So I grabbed a couple for the kids, grabbed a couple for the neighbor kids. Because they only let you get 2 of anything.
Kids get to it first.
There's no kids wanting them, Kyle.
Okay,
you're holding them back by their forehead.
Hey, I got a question since you said Target. Does your Target have to do they do all their stuff only on Fridays?
No, so there's 3 Targets I go to. One of them does it on Thursday, and one of them does it on Friday, and one of them does it on like whenever the bleep they want to because they don't care.
Yeah, because out here it's just Fridays.
I've been hearing that a lot too.
Yeah, that's how Walmart is out here too.
Where are you based out of, Gonzo? Where are you based out of?
New Jersey.
Oh,
Jersey.
Yeah, Jersey.
So I have a question, Marco, and it goes with what Joe here is saying. So he's buying a bunch of Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Now, you bought this at the con?
No, this I got from a Target. Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Okay.
So he's talking about Cinnamon Toast Crunch because there was packs of Pokemon that came in post cereals, and one of them had a Pikachu in it. So this stuff right here, this anniversary stuff. When you see this little logo here, it's the anniversary stuff. Pokemon put a bunch of stuff out. They did the McDonald's stuff, which was part of the anniversary stuff. They did the cereals, the post stuff, which he's talking about. Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Okay. Great cereal, by the way. Love it. I mean, I like it. It's right up in the
cinnamon swirls. Can't beat it.
Yeah, and then you drink the milk afterwards. Like, you gotta let it sit, dude. It's good stuff.
Kyle's a big corn-based cereal guy. He's like a corn pop or
only if it's spelled
with a K.
Only if it's got a
K. Which isn't that how they used to spell the discount ones? Remember the ones in the big bag, like the pound bag that they give it?
Sure is.
They spell the corn pops with it. All right, so here's what you get.
Gotta have my pop.
See, this is as a parent, this is just death. These big, because you got to buy a special holder for these big freaking cards they give you, because the kids love them, dude. They really do. But now you got to get the holder thing.
Because they're easier to hold and read when you're little.
And now those aren't actual playing cards, to my understanding, right? They're like the big ones. They're not really.
You can use them. Yeah, they got all the. Well, I mean, it depends. Yeah, I guess.
Get out of here. So you're telling me some kid's gonna be like, "Oh, I battle you," and pulls out this.
He busts out this big ass card, slams it on the table.
My kids are younger, so they do. They'll you know which card they're gonna play because they've got a couple of these, and because some of them are basics, right? So if they got the evolves, they'll use this as their basic card. What are you gonna say to like a 8 and under? You can't play that card.
Take it and you rip it in half and you go, learn the fucking rules, kid.
I was just curious.
Yeah. So you get. This has got a pack of battle styles in it, which is kind of like one of the later, this little trick for you new Pokemon people. You can turn on the back and it'll tell you what year these cards came out in, except for, I don't have any lights in the studio here. So this was a 2021 pack, which is battle styles. That one did just come out recently. And the other pack is just Sun and Moon, which Sun and Moon, I think, came out like 2 or 3 years ago, if I'm not incorrect on that.
So are these
2017? So this is a 2017 pack.
So they're just reprints?
No, they throw the packs in there with them. So like because they do mysteries and everything else. So like this Battle Styles is out right now, but it sold out so quick it was hard to get the Battle Style ones. And you can actually still get them. Let me see if I have a case of those. No, I've got a case. Yeah. So I've got a case of Battle Styles right here. Battle Styles, I think currently is going for like.
That's why they're sold out, because Margo has them all.
200. This is like I think this box is going for a little bit over 200, 225. But this is this is like the new
understand. So
open them up,
because I am Pokemon stupid. I will admit it 100%. And same with Magic and all that. I've tried to learn and tried to pick up. I've got a few little things. So these big cards, is there refractors and like highly collectible super ones like that, or are they more just lower to mid grade or playability?
So we need somebody that actually knows Pokemon in here, because literally what I do with this stuff is give to my kids and they just terrorize the shit out of it.
All I know is that the most I know is that was it the Fates, Shining Fates?
Yeah. Sure.
All I know is that the Shining Fates, let me tell you. Yeah, so like the ETB, the boxes, I don't know. They're called ETBs. All I know is that you can trade for some sports cards, because there's people out there with Pokemon, dude. They'll grab you whatever sport cards you want. Here you go. Here's the box.
My nephew was really big into.
Oh yeah, I got some
sports.
Zaggy, leftover Zaggy says they're just for show. Okay,
they are, I guess, if you play, but for little kids, like
sure.
it is what it is. I found something out though. Like so this, I don't know if I've mentioned this before. Oh, cool. So for some reason, if you get this card in your pack,
it means you got a banger.
Yeah, you got something good in it. I don't know what that means. Something good.
Is that really?
Yeah. Because all green. The all green ones don't. So here, you can already see something shining back there. All right, so this is how the kids do it. Was it 3, 4 off the back? You get the energy on top. Okay, so we got an energy. We got you can already see it. See, I'm not good at this. You got a trainer. You got
no,
that's not it.
Getting fancy.
That's not it. That's not it. That's not it. As I'm throwing them down. That's not it. That's
you treat cards like I treat comic books.
I treat comic books the same way too.
This is the worst break ever.
All right, so this thing is whatever this is. Yeah, it's a shiny card. Okay, so it's a trainer though, so my kids won't like it. It's cross focus. I don't know. Whatever it is, it's a shiny card, and the kids aren't going to like it because they don't care about trainers because we haven't gotten that far in how to work trainers. Pikachu. I like how he spelled Pikachu there, by the way.
So it reminds me. I was digging through boxes one time at it was like a coin and comic show, and I pulled that X-Men comic. You remember the X-Men comics that had the holograms on the front?
Yeah.
The reason I bought it is because it said signed in Sharpie. It said Wolverine, and they took the Sharpie and they put 3 lines in it. It's the only reason I bought it. I was like, oh, this motherfucker signed by Wolverine. I have to buy it. I get it, but I had to buy it, and I have to this day because of that.
Cash grab.
Dude, I was like, it's signed by Wolverine. How I want to know. I'm dying. If anybody out there actually was there it says Wolverine with 3 lines on it. Did Dad give it to him for Christmas?
Well, it would be hard for Wolverine to sign with his claws popped. I mean, think about the angle you'd have to get on that book. Plus, you're going to damage that thing.
Yeah. There's just shreds. The whole top of it's just shredded multiple ways, and then the bottom just is Wolverine really big.
Hold on, let me see this. Who am I making this out to? Make it out to Mikey. Okay, dear Mikey. Shink, shink.
It just writes "snicked" on the bottom, and then puts an arrow up.
He can only sign the top right corners.
It was a 9.8, and then I had Wolverine sign it. Now it's like a 0.5. What a dick!
But my nephew was really little kid. He's 21 now or so, 21, 22, and when he was a kid, he loved Pokemon. That was his fucking jam. But now he's got all those first edition, and he's got those shiny. Whatever ones from that first run that are real big right now. Got 4 of them.
What are you talking about? We missed you because you kind of glitched out there. What'd you say? He's collecting what?
Pokemon cards?
Pokemon.
He's talking about his nephew, the 21-year-old version. Pokemon cards.
I like Pokemon.
There's a lot of people that like it. I'll tell you this, the Pokemon dealer that was at the con typically wasn't there. Jody, I hope you feel better, man. God bless. But he wasn't there, and there was people upset about it. I mean, that game right now is ridiculous. Luckily, I've known him for a long time. He's a great guy, and he still helps my kids out. Because I'd be like, oh, I hope my kids never get into that. And he's like, oh, it'll be okay. It's fun. You should bring them by. And then they got into it, and he just laughs at me and says, open up your wallet, and I'll take out whatever money I want. And I'm like, yeah, you pretty much will. So
I'm so happy my kids, it lasted not even a year. They're like, I want Pokemon. I'm like, all right. Found them here and there. And I'm like, hey, do you still want Pokemon? Nah, what is that? I'm like, all right, good, thanks.
Poke who? Poke what?
Yeah, I think after they start collecting them, it's weird. I think after they collect them one time, maybe we can get out of this, but it's so hard to get them nowadays. That is the crazy part about it. Keeping sports cards and Pokemon, luckily the Targets here let you get 2 of each, so you can get both. So I mail out the sports card to the people that like to open that, and then I keep the Pokemon cards for the kids and stuff like that. But it's hard, man. It really is hard.
It's super hard, man. Out here, so it's so funny. Yesterday I had to camp out, and I was able to be number 1 in line. And dude, nerd. The drama that came the next morning with people and stuff I'm like, yo, listen, we're all grown men and women. Yeah. At the end of the day, these are cards. Let's relax a little bit.
I imagine Jersey Pokemon fans are a different breed.
Dude, these people out here are ridiculous.
Yeah, they're rabid.
Like
we've talked about
I think
before.
I said it. I think I said it once on a previous show, or maybe like on a private chat with you guys. But like, it's like sometimes it's like, oh, maybe I don't want to get into this community because like some of you guys are too much.
We've said it before. Like, luckily out here by us, that doesn't play well. Like, we self-regulate out here. By the way, Half Price Crook says, hey, finally after all these years, I ran into him. He was actually at that con that I was at that I talked about where I bought the toys and those couple of books, and yeah, it was good to see him finally. He's one of the best pressers in the game. It's just so everybody knows. By the way, we don't have a special guest. We had a special guest now.
He's here.
He's here, but he
went to go. Oh, here he comes.
Okay, we'll let him settle in before we get him going. Let him set up a little bit too. But yeah,
cool. I'm glad that you opened those. Because I remember seeing those when I was helping at Mr. E a little bit, those big cards, and I never understood. So
I don't understand it. I'll tell you, my kids love them though, dude. They just absolutely love them, and that's something like if you guys are out there and you catch them, and if it's not worth anything, that's always something you can give away during the Halloween and stuff like that. Kids love it. We are probably one of the more popular houses on our block to people with family because they always know we'll have extra packs and stuff to throw out to them. So.
I used to collect those Pokemon balls that you could get from Burger King when you bought a meal. Do you remember those? They were like they were like this big, and they had something inside of it.
They came with a coin you can shoot out.
Yeah, my aunt had to work there, and she just got them all. I remember my uncle, he was like, "Hey, I'll trade you this tool for all these Pokemon balls," and I was like, "Fuck yeah, here you go." And I gave him tools so that I could have Pokemon balls because I just thought it was fucking. It was
That's
Pokemon.
Awesome. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's stop talking Pokemon unless Tony's in on the Pokemon game too. I guess no.
How's your Pokemon game, Tony?
I mean, it's not very good. I got to be honest. I don't pokey at all. Trish, the artist, she really gets down. She goes to. Travels around, goes to pokey gyms and whatnot.
We're talking about Pokemon, not Hokey Pokey.
No.
If it was Hokey Pokey, I could really turn myself around.
That's what it's all about, Tony.
Yeah. The pokey gym that he's talking about, one of my LCSs is a pokey gym. This is why I know about this. They're on their phones, and I don't understand what it is, but I know it's something. I just
did a raid with my buddy that lives in Milwaukee. Because he plays Pokemon Go still, so I played it with him, and so he invited me to one of his raids. So I'm sitting there, and I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm just smacking my fucking phone. Why the fuck are all these Pokemon dying? I don't even know what the fuck to do. And he's like, "All right, now it's this legendary Pokemon." He's like, "Spin it with an angle and throw it so it goes like a horse." I was like, "What in the fuck are you talking about?"
Did you?
That's a good game though. I'm not gonna lie. I play Pokemon Go.
A lot of people play it. They got a lot of people exercise there too for a while. But hey, Tony, what's going on?
Hey guys,
Pokemon.
How's everybody been? It's been a month.
Good. It has been. Yeah. So we definitely picked those up. But Tony, a couple of us also read a little book that you sent us. And
oh my god,
if we could talk about that later, we would love to talk about that.
That is my new favorite book.
Yeah, what you got? I don't know why you're messing around with that. Like, we're gonna get into stray dogs and everything, but like that book, you need to get it out.
It's
like,
gold.
That is the coolest thing.
Gold.
The best thing I've read in a long time. I mean, it really is.
Huh. Yeah, that's what I'm doing on this show. I sit around all day here. I work on stuff, by myself. And then I show up, people tell me nice things. I'll come back here all the time if this is what's going to happen.
Well, you got to keep coming up with good stuff like that. If you come up with crap, we'll probably tell you that too. But it was good, man. It had a good premise on it, and I really liked it. And then Kyle, I was like, dude, you really got to read this. And he read it, and he was like, I was watching him read it, and he's laughing the whole time. He's like, no, but this is really good. But this is really, really good. And we don't want to spoil it, or we'll spoil what you let us spoil.
Yeah, we can talk about whatever.
Okay, so we can talk about whatever. Then where should we start? Because stray dogs, you did not lie about stray dogs.
No, you didn't. Man, you delivered.
Bro.
I'm in my car hunting
I'm looking for this guy. I'm the emotional level and the way this is written is right here, man. I'm looking for this guy.
Well, you can tell he's out on some country road, so it could take years to find him. I mean,
yeah,
there's not a lot of identifying monuments around him to find him. Just that one farmhouse.
Yeah, not what I was expecting.
No,
I was reading through it, and I'm sorry to interrupt, Marco, but I don't even want to give away the end yet because there's so much more to talk about before that. When I got to it, I was like, wow, I can't believe he did that. You went there, and that's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad you think so. We've been terrified this whole time, because we've had this thing outlined for years, and then we've just been slowly putting it together. But we've always just been like, man, when issue 3 comes out, that's going to be rough. Like, it could be like we could get hate mail, people could hate us. And so far, people have been reasonably upset, but nobody's just been like, fuck you, we're out. One person said I can't, my heart rate is too much, I can't do the next one. But I feel like that's fair.
Right. I think part of it too, because even Solo said when he said it, he's like, that portion, he was so upset that he's gonna kill a guy like that. I said, oh, so you don't have a problem with the guy raping and killing women, that part is what you have a problem with? And that's it. There's a certain element of pet lover, or in dark love, you see a lot in dog lovers, where there's this part of their family, they can't separate the two from, which now I'm going to get hate mail for even trying to say that, but you know what I'm hitting at. They get very emotional over that aspect of it, and how you handle it as somebody who just enjoyed the comic book was there's a part where I was like, oh crap. And then I saw that and was like, oh, real crap. Yeah. And then we had Gonzo ask a question about that portion. I was like, oh, did you miss? There's very finite details in those last couple pages that if you missed it, you missed it. And I guess it was the red scarf for me. So I felt like a big man because I could explain why it happened. Which we think, right? Yeah. Which we think it was that little piece of fabric, right? Is that why that happened? Is that why that last portion happened?
Yeah, for sure. We're doing spoilers, right? We'll just talk about this.
Do you want us to show it? Do you want us to show the slides we made for you? Because we could spoil it.
Yeah, mind it as well. If I'm here and we're talking about it, we might as well talk spoilers. I've seen a lot of reviews and people talk about it, but it's just they can't say what the thing is. So it just seems like people know something's going to happen. We're
going to run the slides then. Let's do it. These are the 2 books. That's the 2 covers. The A and B cover right there real quickly. By the way, your A covers are I know the homages are good, but your A covers, if you're not picking up both covers, make sure you pick them up on Wednesdays because they do sell out. I know the 3 LCSs that I go to keep ordering more and more, and they keep selling out all the time. So there was 2 of the cover Bs, and we'll see. Maybe we'll give one away later because I picked up a couple extra ones just in case we could give one away. The cover A's are there, but you get back to the story. Starts off pretty good. Starts off where we left it off. Kyle or anybody else can pick this one up, or we could just run through these slides real quickly and get to the part we're all talking about. Yeah. They did go underneath to check out. This was really cool how they did the creepy horror art where they were digging up for the graves. I thought we were going to see graves there, actual people bodies, and I thought that's what Tony, when you led us to believe that there was some big event, I thought we were going to see dead portions of bodies come out of there, and I was like, I can't believe they're going to do that.
Yeah, I was waiting for a hand or something.
Yeah. Well, I was wondering why the mementos underneath the porch.
Well, I guess it's unclear. I assume there's people in there.
I do too, but I thought we were actually going to see them.
What I love about this and what he's done throughout these first 3 issues is there's still room for subversion. He's kept that idea of we can subvert this at any time. And so you're reading it, it's is this what I think it is? But Tony left himself enough room where he can flip the whole thing at any moment. And so, I think by putting a foot or a body part in there, then you start to really define what kind of story this is. And now he's left it open. I think that's what's one of the amazing things that we see through these first 3 issues is the openness to subvert this story at any time.
Absolutely. And when we
Hold
talk
on 1 second. I'm gonna go.
Is that one of the dogs from Stray Dogs?
Yeah, I'll be right back.
Yeah. All right, you got it. And that's actually kind of one of the points we were talking about before. Is like when he first came on, he talked about how many words they're putting on a page, and that is one of the portions. Like what Travis was saying, they don't put a ton of words on the page. They just explain the basics of what you need to know to keep the story advancing. So there was like when he's saying like, well, I thought everybody thought there was dead bodies in it. Sure, but you see the dogs in there, and then you see the one where the dog can't get out, and you're like, there's no dead body in there. So you wouldn't naturally assume that it's there. But at the same time, they do find articles of clothing. So you're like, well, there might be bodies in some of the other ones, just not in that one. And like I said, not using the words properly is a big part, and you miss it a lot in comics now because it seems like sometimes writers just want to show how many words they can put on a page.
No, I love that. Like, as a comic book reader, and I know it's not a novel and stuff, but when I open it up and I go, God damn it, this is going to be a wordy book. This is not what you like. I love just the perfect amount of, like, that's how you know it's a good book if you don't have to over explain it, because between the art and the writing, it doesn't have to, the writing doesn't have to overfill everything.
I mean, look at how they use the red background on this panel right here. Like, it's up, like it's on now because he sniffed it. It's like, you don't need to say, oh, that's my old owner's clothes. Like, you get the point of what's going on, that it's important there with doing that type of stuff, which they do a very good job.
Especially in like a couple frames before that, it was like, oh well, I didn't get to sniff it yet.
Yeah.
Hey, Tony, can I ask you, when we talk about this kind of like mystery that's evolving here, when you're sitting down for this idea of this story, you have this great device in here where you're using a dog's memory in order to kind of interesting device to tell a mystery. What would happen if you had to keep details for only a little bit of time? Now, was that the ultimate twist on the mystery suspense genre, and so you chose dogs to do that? Or was you want to tell a story with these, dog characters, and then you came to the idea, oh, a dog wouldn't remember that? Did one come before the other?
Yeah, it was dogs first. And then it was thinking about how dogs would perceive something like this. And then the memory was it just sort of came from, first from my own dogs, from just like, you tell them something over and over again and they don't remember it, or just like, I'm not good at training them. But it seems like they don't hold on to little details, like,
it's almost like a form of dementia. For like, if you had older characters, you could have had that same device with like a nursing home. I don't remember what happened yesterday.
It's like Memento too. Like that guy's solving a murder and he keeps forgetting everything. I didn't realize that until I was like deep into writing it. And I was just like, oh, it's Memento.
It's all good.
But I did go and look up dog memories and sort of read up on it a little bit just to make sure that what my understanding of it was workable, like would sort of match with what the real thing is. And it was close enough that I was like, all right, I feel like I can go with this and not get really called out.
Well, you build that up in the first few pages of the first issue is like, hey, I'm going to use this device. So everyone, a vet, a voice of authority is telling the character this. Let's move on.
Right. Here's the rules. Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could have just Googled Wookiee's memory, and then it would have came up, and it would have just said crap.
Yeah, I'm not much better than these dogs. I would have trouble trying to solve this situation.
Solo got kicked off for the first time today. Awesome. Hey, and I like how you put, like, I really hate this dog, this snitch.
Earl,
him. You did a great job of doing that.
But you can't hate the dog. The dog thinks he's doing the right thing. He's being loyal to his owner.
Did you read the book? No.
I did.
Just dead.
I did, but the dog doesn't know any better.
He remembered.
Solo, if you want to humanize dogs, that's fine. Then he's a snitch, and you get to humanize that too. All right, there you go.
That dog's a baby. And the dog's a baby boomer piece of shit.
Do you think Earl's in on it? Because he does. Because I did see, like, in this issue, he takes one of the dogs out to, I guess, scout the next victim. Mm-hmm. Do you think Earl's in on it?
Earl's no. Are you going to ask the writer? Are you going to ask the writer if you can spoil the next book coming up? Is that what you're going to ask? Good idea.
I mean, I'm not going to say, but I like the speculation.
Yeah, he likes the speculation. Good stuff, Gonzo. So here it is. There's a little scarf in the end, and this is where it gets kind of a little bit messed up. Thank you, JJ. So this is where it gets a little messed up. He grabs the collar. He takes the dog out, and you think he's going to take him into the punishment shed that we saw last one. Honestly, guys, if you are sensitive for this, if you are not sensitive, if you're like Solo, we gave you the blank page here. It is now time to tune off for a couple minutes. Go grab a. Hey, speaking of that, perfect time to talk about the drinking game. Go ahead, scan this in real quickly. Do your
Perfect
little scan.
Time. We're an hour and 15 minutes into this.
Yeah, I know. Well, just whatever you do, go make yourself another drink.
We got an awesome drinking game. Scan it. We got some cool. We got plenty of drinking words that are in there right now that will help you drink during this Stray Dogs interview.
Yeah,
there's plenty of keywords.
So because he found the piece of clothes that was to the oh wow, we skipped right through that. All right, there you go. So they take him out back, and he takes him behind the punishment shed and ends up shooting him. That's the end of that.
Oh, I don't know. And he knocks over the phone and calls cops.
Well, yeah, he knocked the phone over, but as Tony said, you were wrong. He didn't kill him for knocking over the phone, calling the cops. It has to do with that he found the piece of fabric.
Oh, I mean, I guess it's not up to me to explain it.
No, explain it.
It's a combination of. I mean, by the time the master gets down there, Victor's the only one that keeps barking. You know, like all the other ones are backed away from the phone, and the master sort of knows which one's the culprit, and then he sees that scrap of fabric right there too. So it's a combination of things, but that was very hard to try and make clear. And also, like, if you think too hard about it, it's just like, does the master think that this dog knows? You know, like,
yeah.
I think that's the good part, though. Like having a debate over, was it that the dog dialed 911 or was it that the fabric was on the ground? Makes a good book. Like that's what I think. That's what I think is like the good part about this book. You don't force feed it to us, right?
When I was writing it, the part that I was like, this is the biggest leap. And if people will go with me on this, then we're going to be okay for all the rest of it, was basically that this dog could figure out how to call 911. And then the stuff that comes after it just all sort of rolls out of that, you know, like also sort of born out of him making that move. And people seem to have gone along with it. Like it's the one thing where I was just like, that's a stretch. And we haven't had that conversation beforehand where the dogs are like, well, we can't even talk to them. And then the other dogs are like, yeah, but they come, you know, like I know, because, you know, Victor was a fire station dog. He knows how they come.
So. Tony, let me ask you this as a writer, because you worked on other stuff. Have you found that, is there a difference? Because you have these dogs, so you have pathos built in automatically. Has that been kind of a nice boost to start from, is where you maybe, because you have a lot of characters in here, so to give all of them an opportunity for the audience to care for them, do you find that having them be dogs does a lot of that work in building those pathos for those characters for you?
Oh yeah, I mean 100%. If this was a story about people, I don't think anyone would care. You know, like just because it's so many people, and you would have you'd have to get to know them. You would need much more room to get to know them. And the reason we can sort of do this in 5 issues and have it be like an emotional punch, like it is because people already care about the dogs when they see them, because they care about dogs. And because they're drawn so adorably that you're just like, oh, I don't want anything to happen to this adorable dog. If it's a person,
you made one of them. You know, the Dalmatian here has one. He's missing a leg. It's just like, it's just adding on top of the built-in pathos there already. Part of it reminds me of, I think maybe we're all of the area. I think it came out like 1979, but there was this kid's novel called Bunnicula. And Bunnicula. Yeah, you remember that? Like from like back in the day where like these house pets had to solve this mystery about this rabbit that was sucking all the juice out of it.
Did I rip off
It's like Memento meets Bunnicula, man. And no, but that sense of that, I think that pathos worked in that book, built in. You didn't rip off Bunnicula. You're good. You're good.
I hope pathos is a drinking word, because if not, we need to start getting the definition took at the bottom all the time.
It's also my favorite Marvel character, not Thanos, Pathos. But yeah, I thought that was really, really strong way to build off of that built-in.
Everybody check the drinking game now.
Yeah, I know they all.
Pathos.
No, it was good. No, I agree, Travis. Sorry, I was just clowning on you. Yeah, no, it really. But I'll tell you this: like, I'm not a dog or pet hater. We don't have pets in this house, and it's not one of those things that I'm like vested in, but I enjoy the storytelling of the book. Like, I'm just saying it because I enjoy the storytelling of the book and how you've already used, just like we talked about, the artwork sells it for itself. So I think it can get a great aspect. While we're looking at chat, people are saying different things, right? Like how my mindset work was like, he played off so well. You guys put it in there where he goes like, no, actually my pets knocked it off. That seems, I've had pets before. That seems like a reasonable explanation. So in my mind, it was like, oh yeah, sure. It wasn't because the dog dialed 911. But then when you explain that he's the last dog barking, like that's just you hit so many people's level on this, right? Like the dog lover, the non-pet haver, like it doesn't matter where you are on the spectrum of this book can speak out to you. If you don't like crazy psychopaths, like if you like horror comics, like it hits them all. Like it really does.
I feel like people, even if they're not dog people, everybody sort of has a baseline love for dogs. You know, like I don't care about baseball. I don't watch baseball, but I feel nostalgic about baseball. Like I can watch a baseball movie, or if somebody's like, "Oh, that guy's a baseball player," I'm just like, "Oh, right on, good for him." You know, like and I feel like it's that way with dogs on a much broader scale. You know, like the pitch for this book is pretty easy for me, just because it's like, well, even if you don't have dogs, like you have some sort of attachment to dogs. You know, like your grandma had a dog. You know, like everybody has some sort of attachment. So yeah.
Well, I just think the humanizing of it either way works out well. Like even Andrew Fang says in the comments that the part where he said no, and I grew up with dogs, don't get me wrong, and really love them, but like that part, you can see that it doesn't matter if you at one point project that to a child or project it to something else, and you knew that he was good. When he said no, that's when my men went like, they're killing this thing.
How come I can't see the comments?
Huh?
How come I can't see the comments?
I'll pull it up for you. They're on the right side. We'll get in the StreamYard. Can't see it. Yeah, so he says that was it. We tried to throw some of them up there. I guess we could throw them all up. I don't know. But yeah,
Andrew Fang's my guy. That's what we were going for exactly. Like we put that panel in there. Like this is where we want to hurt people. We want to break their hearts right here.
Yeah, I mean they really.
And with the artwork and the writing and the way I want to see you slow played it, but you didn't. You progressed it just right. Not too slow, not too fast, but you gave just a little bit and just a little bit and just a little bit. And then you hit us in the end. And literally, like I rolled over and I was like, baby, that's it. I got to go find this guy. I am so mad right now. Like I am livid at this guy. It is written and the artwork and the way they flow together is so seamless and so good. It really invokes emotion. Well, for me anyway, but I'm a huge dog guy. I love dogs.
This is why he's happy.
Really invoked a lot of emotion, and comic books don't invoke a lot of emotion in me.
Tony, this guy Solo, I've been working with him for 8 months. It's all C's, 1 stars, nothing. Today he has a new leaf. We've already joked about when you weren't here. New leaf. Everything's bright and shiny. And now I know why. He likes your book so much. You turned over New Leaf in Solo Wookiee. He is now, thank you very much. He's not a curmudgeon anymore. He's now the happiest man on planet because a dog got shot out back. I don't understand.
Look at him. Look at Solo wag his tail there. And then,
yeah. You have done it. You have cured the Solo Wookiee.
I even invited some neighbor kids to come play on my lawn. I was like, hey, come on. All right. Just this once.
Go ahead and mess it up.
I got a question about the artwork.
Yeah.
So before the big shooting, like you had the Dalmatian in the grave. Was that on purpose? Like were you like trying to like
foreshadow?
Foreshadow it. Like because I didn't think about it. I was like, oh man, that sucks. Right when I first read it, I was like, oh well, that makes sense. The poor dog only has 3 legs. Like I need help to get him out. And then at the end when lights out, I was like, oh my god, like, so
that's cool. I definitely did not do that on purpose, but I like
credit for it.
A couple things that people have spotted that they were like, oh, they were trying to do this, and I'm just like, oh, that's neat. That's definitely cool. We just basically left him in there because
of 3 legs.
We're trying to build up sympathy and trying to make you really love him. You know.
See how that works out though. Yeah, I mean, see how that works out. That is one issue we always talk about here. Once again, is the art. Let the artwork speak in comics. And these 3 books so far that you've put out, we have so many discussions on this book and what we thought we saw or how we're interpreting it. Like, that's cool. It's good to see comics that we care about again. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what it is.
Yeah, a lot of that comes from me being Trish is the artist on the book. But when I'm writing this, it's coming from a place of being a writer and an artist. And so I know that I can count on the visuals to do a lot of the work in a lot of these places. And so I think that's worked out well for the mystery of it, is just being able to draw stuff and not have to say like, oh, look, a scrap of fabric must be from my master, like.
Sure.
Tony,
trying. Go for it, Travis.
I was going to ask you about like your storytelling process. From what I've seen here, it seems like you're kind of the writer who likes to give yourself some restrictions, maybe be most creative in, like the fact that they're dogs. One has certain restrictions to it, but also the setting. By limiting that setting and doing that, do you find that is, working within those boundaries? Do you find that challenging as a restriction, or do you find that very like freeing? Like, do you purposely make those choices to like, let me give myself some boxes to work in?
I think it's just from being a new writer that I'm just sort of like setting myself up with restrictions is a good rule, but I just sort of thought of it as like, I thought of it as like rules, or just like, here's where it takes place inside this farmhouse. And I drew out a map of what the farmhouse has, like here's this room, here's the bathroom, like when they go look outside, they have to look out the bathroom. Like it's just sort of all this stuff. For me to make sense of it in my head, I had to understand all of it. And putting it in just inside the house in the backyard, I can keep track of all that. If it's like they go out into the world or they go here and there, it's a lot more for me to have to deal with.
It creates a haunted house kind of vibe as well, too, with that room, especially that we see in that one issue.
Thank you. Yeah, and with a story about them being captives, like it's just sort of like the
you feel it. The walls closing in, the place being not a place of refuge, but a place of horror, possibly. I think that it comes across very well.
It's claustrophobic. Yeah.
So why does he keep some mementos in the room, and then why does he bury some mementos with the people then?
I don't know. I mean,
sorry.
We're breaking this book down like it's. I mean, yeah.
I assume that the people aren't buried. I assume they're just buried in the clothes that they were wearing when he killed them, and then the other stuff is stuff that he just took from them.
So you're not a serial killer, and you don't know how to be a serial killer. Is that what you don't exactly know how their mind works? You're just portraying what is comics.
This last time, but there's 2 big cheats in the book. The one cheat is that they're dogs, and so you care for them already. And the second cheat is that since it's from the dog's point of view, I only have to know what the dogs know. So like, I know a little bit more than the dogs know about what the killer does. But for the purpose of writing this book, I didn't have to know like what his, what happened to him when he was a kid, when he started torturing animals, like his serial killer journey, or what his actual like method is. Like sometimes he chokes them, sometimes he uses knives. Like I only have to know as much as the dogs know, because that's all we're going to see. Like we're never going to flip to somebody else's POV and show like, now see what the killer really did. Like it's just only from their perspective.
So is that how you wrote it? Is that like you put the problems in front of you and conquer them at a time, or did you like a mystery writer backwards design it from the end idea?
I started writing it before I had really gone in thinking about like what his actual process was. And then I got to a certain point and I had to think like, oh, he goes to the dog park. Like that's where he goes and he
got it.
Looks for people. So it was just sort of like piecing it together. And by the time I was like halfway through writing it, I sort of had understood what his whole deal was. But we don't show the whole thing.
Oh, can you see this, Tony, on the bottom? It says you didn't know you had to face the in-depth ultra dirty convention panel sessions.
Thought I was just going on a fun show.
Here's a convention panel question. If you could be any breed of dog, which breed of dog would you be?
Where do you get your ideas?
Can I ask kind of a tougher question? I mean, maybe it's not a tougher question, but like, there's a panel in there where you show what happens to the one owner. And like you've hinted at other type of violence and other type of stuff happening in there, obviously, when they took him behind. But that one you actually show it. Was there a part where you guys like, maybe we shouldn't put this in that book because there's already the sympathy for the dogs and everything else, or were you like, we got to show some type of effect of what's happening to the victims? Is that, because I thought it was interesting. Like, it just, I know we're over analyzing this book, but when you see,
I'm here for it. I love it. We definitely have a line where we're like, we're not going to cross this. We're not going to show this. I mean, it's sort of like, it's not like we had a discussion. We're just like, well, we're never going to show, stab wounds or, like, but I think we have an agreement on like what the rating of the thing is. And that's not to say that it doesn't, like, the next issue is crazier than this issue for sure.
All right, cool.
But we do have like a limit. So I don't think the murder in this issue was something that we thought very hard about.
Okay, yeah.
It hits a lot harder just because we see more of it.
Yeah.
In the Sophie one, you see he starts to choke her. And in this one, it's like deeper into it, and you see Victor tied up and sort of like being helpless. And I think that makes it more emotional because it's just like you're already this character now, and now you're seeing him in this horrible situation.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was hitting at. Like, it's a little bit. One thing is the choke. Yeah. All right. Cool.
How much wrap this up in one issue?
2.
Well, I got 2 more.
2, right?
It goes all the way to 5.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, good. Because
Yeah.
I was like, oh, don't rush this.
No, and the next 2 are longer too. It's a 5-issue series, but it's basically like 6 issues worth of content. So next issue is 26 pages, and then the last one's 28 pages. So they sort of get a little room to stretch out here at the end.
Oh, good.
How much pre-plan time do you have invested in this? Because it plays really well as far as like the whole storyline. The way that you laid it out, it seems to me, because I'm not a writer, like you would have just had to sit for months on end to pre-plan this whole layout and everything. It's done so well, in my opinion. It just seems like it took forever.
Thanks. It didn't take forever, but I did, like I said before, like I'm a newer writer. And so figuring out all the stuff, the plot, like I know I can write dialogue and I know I can write characters and stuff. So making sure that the plot was figured out and nailed down and like moved and had cliffhangers and had like scares, like all that was really important to me. So I planned it out pretty thoroughly before we even started drawing the book. Like, by the time I'd spoken to Trish and gotten her on board, and then I just went home and I started like doing note cards and putting together like an outline, and I have this big map that's like issue 1, issue 2, issue 3, issue 4, issue 5, and I've got all these events, and I know this takes place in 4, and I know I knew 3 ended like this pretty early on, and then it's just a matter of like sort of filling it in. And before we were too deep into it, before we'd sort of pitched to Image or anything, we had a real solid outline. Like the whole story was all figured out.
Awesome.
Now you say that you're a newer writer, like coming into that, but there's obviously this is a lifetime of chops building up to this, and you might have talked about this on your guys' last interview. But is this coming like? Were you always like? What form did that take? Was it short stories? Were you involved in storytelling as a kid? Like, where did the seed germinate from?
I guess when I say I'm a newer writer, I'm like, as far as like people reading it, I'm a newer writer. Like I always wrote stuff in comics. My first comics work I wrote and drew, and then I got a couple small writing jobs. I've written My Little Pony, and so like I've always wanted to do the whole thing, but just as far as like I knew this was going to be a story that even before I knew we were going to do it at Image, I was like, this is something that I feel like people are going to see, and I wanted it to be perfect or as close to perfect as possible. So I call myself a newer writer. I guess I just mean like as far as people know, you know, like
marketing, the auteur aspect of the whole thing. Just all yours. Right. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Yeah, I find that's fascinating. Is there's always, I think a lot of writers that have that when they're putting their baby out there, there is that little bit of, when you talk about first time writer, that's that this is my baby insecurity. I'm putting it out in the world coming out. Yeah. But
yeah. And I have enough insecurity otherwise that just like, I feel like I turn it into a strength where it's just like, I'm going to be unsure about this. So I'm just going to like, I'm so insecure about this thing that I'm now confident about it. Like when I talk to people about it, I'm just like, you're going to like the end of this, like, or wait till you see issue 4, like, which does not belie my regular confidence, like, I'm not just like, oh, if you like this, wait till you see this. But like, I wanted to be so sure about this that I really worked it and sort of figured it out. And so I feel confident about it, which is, I don't know, I'm not sure how that really comes off, but like, people seem to be digging it so far, and I can tell people like, well, if you like that, the next one is better. So
I think that in it. Okay, sorry. Go ahead, Mark.
I'm sorry. So there's a couple of things because we're getting a lot of it into the chat, and they're asking about this. I think we talked about it before. Maybe I'm just imagining things. But didn't you say after this series is done, we are going to have some prequel stuff come out? Because your buddy Andrew Fang is wondering if there's going to be a dog, like what order he collected the dogs. Yeah, like a timeline of it. And is some of that in the free comic book day thing? And how many older dudes are going to be punching out little kids to get to this free comic book?
Well, I'm hoping they don't give this to little kids. That's another.
We like to raise psychopaths. So
how many Marcos is this going to make?
Yeah.
First, like the first thing we were scared of is like, are people going to stop reading at issue 3? And now the new thing we're scared of is just like, I hope they don't give that to children for free.
They will on free comic book day. That book I'll be standing at the LCS going, guys, come on.
If I'm being honest, I'm sort of looking forward to it.
Yeah.
There was
Joe Tunes for. He's like psychotic Bill. If he don't kill you, he's trying to like bring in that Disney audience. He's trying to get that Disney money.
So when Walking Dead was big, there was a when there was the scene of the cutting off the hand and the same scene that you kind of had going on in this book. There was a kid that walked in that was about 8, and he's like, "Yeah, The Walking Dead. Everybody says it's good." And I took the parent over and opened up that issue and said, "This is an example of what goes on in here. Do you think it's proper for your child? It's up to you." And the parent bought the book for him. So I have a feeling that Free Comic Book Day, Stray Dogs is going to go a lot to 6-year-olds. It's going to be a big hit in first grade.
Look at Marco being the moral
snitch. Marco, you're like that bloodhound in this book.
You're going to get shot behind the shed.
Oh, absolutely.
Marco is Earl.
Yeah, somebody sent me a video of their like 6-year-old reading the first issue yesterday. Where they're just like, "Look at her, she loves it," and I'm like, "Don't do that. What are you doing?"
No, it's not a good. Yeah, but people love dogs more than they love humans. We've heard that a couple times mentioned here. So,
the free comic book day thing. It says in the solicit that it's the story of the master's first dog, or the first dog to go to the master's house. So that'll be more information there as far as prequel stuff. And then towards the end of the year, we're going to do either 1 or 2 issues that are, it's called Dog Days. And it's sort of like every dog gets a story. So whereas you see how fast this thing's moving, some of the dogs like, Killer, Gucci, sort of find themselves as sort of like background dogs. And so we're giving everybody a little bit of room to get a shine in the it's not a sequel, it's like one shot.
Tony's doing Dog Day Afternoon. He's got a Pacino dog in there, the Robin Banks.
Got a John Cazale dog.
Yeah.
Hey, what does the cockpit windshield kill do? Look, guys. Hey, that's an old throwback there. We have some fun time. Hey, there was a question. I don't know what Sick Boy is asking here. Sticks, I love you, brother, but Tony, did you write as storyboards or as a novel style and transport the story to comic form? Is that a good question?
Sure. I wrote it to be a comic. I wrote it in panels or whatever, like I write the outline as just an outline. Like it doesn't say panels or pages or whatever. And then you just translate that to pages.
Awesome.
Panels.
I think Joe's
is there
spoiler that you can give us? Like, I'm really emotionally invested. Is this guy going? Don't give it away, but is this guy going to have a horrible end? Can he fall off a cliff and like hit every rock on the way down? And can it be a very large cliff? Or like maybe out of the tree and hit every stick on the way down out of the tree and then like fall on the stick and impale himself? Like is the end does it deliver? Is everyone just going to be like, oh yeah?
I don't have a very good poker face.
Don't answer him. That's why he's been nice the whole day. That's why he's been nice. He's trying to get you to sucker out and give it away. Please don't give it away.
Can we give Tony a single, please, on this while he answers this question?
Tony, listen. He yells. He doesn't even have a lawn. He lives in Arizona. It's dirt. It's literally sand out front, and he yells at everybody that passes his house. Do not give him the ending, please.
Get off my rocks.
He calls them whippersnappers.
I mean, I like that. I mean, me and Wookie we're on the same board, on the same page when it comes to kids getting in our yard. I got a good fence.
Exactly. Darn kids all hopped up on goofballs.
I'm not going to spoil it, but it does. It warms my heart that you want this guy dead so much because that's obviously what we're going for. So.
All right, good. All right, I feel better now. I feel like maybe somewhere in the end I can feel some relaxing justification.
What if he wins though? What if I just did this whole thing and then at the end the guy just wins?
I'm not convinced this is not subverted. I'm not convinced that this could all be a giant ruse. There could be like that bang couldn't have been the bang with. I still think he has room to go that way if he wants, which is what I love. And I'm looking into his eyes right now. Come on, Tony.
It could be a trap.
It totally could.
Yeah,
I would not be able to sleep for weeks. I would probably quit my job and join some like animal protection police situation. I'd be like, where's he at? I'm finding this guy. He's going down.
Can you just JJ Maxwell's like, hey, can you just show us the outline for the last two issues? I mean,
my question is it or is it not DMX the villain?
He will do it. By the way, guys, real quickly, you guys know me. Tony is legit, and he probably would give us the two last outlines for this. And every person who heard after he was on the show, only good words about this guy. Like literally, for some reason, out in California. There's a lot of people who speak very highly of Tony. So, Tony, just know that behind your back, people are saying nice things about you.
Thank you. That's nice.
Speaking of nice things about you, he's wearing a Darth Vader shirt. So let's talk about some of his upcoming stuff because he knows not to wear. What do you guys always joke? Is it blue shirts, pink shirts, or whatever you guys do? Trekkies
red
wear
shirts.
Yeah, we don't wear that over here. We wear only Star Wars stuff. There you go. Coming out this week for you that don't know, me and Gonzo have daughters. And this is one of our reading type special. As you know, I've got 6 set of twins. They are boy, girl, girl, boy, girl, 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 boy, girl, boy, girl. And to get them to read these at nighttime, read something that they can do together, this was the perfect book to put together, was Transformers and Ponies. Tony, I don't know if I grabbed the covers that you did. It says you're the cover artist in some of these. I know this one. You did. Very good. There was another cover. There is a RI for this too, for you guys to look out for the RI. It was done well also. I didn't put that out there. We're going back for those people who didn't read the story. We knew this was going to happen because they left it on a cliffhanger from the last Transformers story number 1. We also, by the way, this is the one my kids are really looking forward to because I read the previews to them. They are big fans. My son is a huge fan of Starscream, and my daughter loves Rainbow Dash. So hey, look, make sure you guys get the pre-orders out for that. Speaking of Stray Dog, so don't put that up on that. Stray Dogs is coming out with 2 good covers. I'm telling you, these A covers, I know everybody loves the B covers, or it is a B cover because it's not an incentive cover. I know they love the B covers, but the A covers are just as dope. And if you read that last issue, and now we've given away where he shoots them behind and you see all the dogs in the window looking at the red coming out, dude, grab these books, grab both covers if you guys can. Make sure it's selling out. It is doing a good job at selling out now. Tony, you promised that it's going to be good, just as good as this book. I don't know how it could be any better than number 3. But hey, that's coming up. That's FOC on Monday. So you know what that means. It's really FOC on like Wednesday. But either way, FOC is coming up on that book.
Is that true? Do I have extra time?
For what?
You say it's really FOC on Wednesday?
Well, yeah. So how FOC? Well, you got late FOC rolling out. So like FOC, how FOC works? Are we gonna?
I mean, I'm a little interested. I get my numbers on Tuesday, so
So what happens? So depending on how it goes, you have like late FOC Tuesday night, and then you have like rollover diamond FOC for back order damage. Are we on Wednesday? So you can technically get a couple extra numbers on Wednesday. Is that what you're asking? You want to take this offline and talk about how this works? I'm not sure.
I like it. Yeah, I think it's kind of cool.
I like this right now.
So either way, you got late FOC. Make sure you guys by late FOC, you guys end up getting both of those on there.
Let's just do Monday to be safe.
Yeah, do Monday to be safe so he doesn't get nervous. Well, he's like, I get numbers on Tuesday, but then for some reason the overall numbers don't add up at the end of Friday. I don't know how that worked. Yeah. It's because there's late FOC. Okay. Anyways, but let's get to what me and Kyle are really pumped about because we're the only two that read this. Time shoppers.
Excited for this.
I'm sorry, Tony. I mean, do FOC on Monday. Give him his FOC on Monday. Especially if you're going to a comic book store. But if you're at the store and you got the guy there and you miss it on Monday, go in on Tuesday. They'll still get you the book, bro. Time shoppers. Hopefully, time shoppers will be hitting a look. How much money do you need, Tony? Tell me how much money you need.
We're looking for like $10,000.
10,000. I won't give you that. I'll give you $1,000.
Okay.
I'll give you 1K.
That'll get us started.
Good. This is me and Kyle have read Time Shoppers, and it's. I mean, hilarious. It's great. It's
hilarious.
Tupac shows up in it, dude. I mean,
what? I just love it. It's like he's like, you need to look out for Suge Knight. It's just
yeah, dude. Oh, Tony, I was trying to reach out to you on Instagram. I wish I could. And if you will come back on your next one, we'll actually promo, if you don't mind, we'll promo some of the pages and some of the panels from that thing. Sure. This book is ridiculous. The main character at one time is supposed to kill Hitler and then ends up throwing like a millionaire chocolate party back. Like
he's got a chocolate sculpture in
himself, dude.
And the dude's like, the chick's like, hey, Hitler's still in the history book.
Yeah, you did not kill baby Hitler. And baby Hitler's mom and dad are arguing the whole. Oh, it's brilliant. The book is, I'm telling you, the book's brilliant. Like Tupac, I was like, I don't know how Kyle's going to take. He's like, did you know Tupac shows up? I was like, yes, I absolutely know Tupac shows up.
When he goes back to the Old West, I lost my shit.
He goes to Deadwood? Oh, geez. Oh, yeah, because of that part. We're not doing that part. Yeah.
He hands him the 50, man.
If he hands him the 50, it's over. It's game over. Dude, he goes and goes, that's why it's called a mouse, because it looks like it's got a fucking tail on it, dude. And I know this is an inside joke, and I don't care. I don't care. Y'all cannot give us thumbs up for it, but it's funny. Let us tell you, we're not going to try to spoil everything for you because this book is really good. It needs to get out there, Tony. You really have to listen.
We're kickstarting it in like basically when issue 5 of Stray Dogs comes out, we're going to launch this Kickstarter.
Good.
So that I'm
not soon enough. Not soon enough.
Not soon enough at all.
We're putting all the promo stuff together, and I think you'll really dig that too. Usually when I get a Kickstarter, it's like you get a sticker and you get like a T-shirt or print or something. Like we went and we made a whole bunch of products that are stuff that Carl brings back from time. So like you can get stuff that he went and time shopped. I'll do a quick.
So I can get a bunch of cars. I can get a bunch of old, like I can get an old GTO. Is that what I can get? Yes.
There's like a Mickey Mantle card.
$1,000 spent.
You can get a Mickey Mantle card. You can get an Action Comics #1. Like there's all sorts of stuff that you get from him traveling around in time. Right. But the premise of this book is there's a guy who gets a job time traveling, and he's supposed to go and stop all of history's greatest disasters or greatest tragedies. And instead, they give him money so he can get supplies or whatever he needs in time. And when he gets back in time, he just gets super distracted by how cheap everything is. And instead of doing what he's supposed to do, he just ends up shopping in time. So it's basically sort of autobiographical. It's like what I would do if I was running a time machine.
Legit. That's what it is. So this guy is like it's like an Uber driver or like what's the people that deliver food, whatever
like
that
Task Rabbit or
whatever it is, like Fivers. It's like a bunch of Fivers. And he's got a perfect star rating, but then all of a sudden you give this guy a bunch of cash in different areas. What else are you gonna do? And by the way, the Deadwood $5, $50 thing that he's talking about over there,
I like how he comes out with the beard
and the ice on it, the ice on his groin. Just imagine what if you watch Deadwood the movie. Imagine what was going on in the bar at that time. You can figure it out real quickly. When you said this book originally, because you had pitched that way to us before, I was like, oh, that could be cool, because I always imagine going back in time and what I do to change stuff. When you read the book, you're like, oh, but that's actually what I would do. I would throw a party. I would start buying old cars and try to get it to convert. The ending was great. I liked it. I'm not going to give that part away, but it was really good. It was funny, like when you're like, oh, there's nobody else that he could put in this book that would make it hilarious. And then you go, he does the gambling thing, the poker part, which is funny because when he goes all in, you see him blow a lot of the money. The ending's kind of, it's cool what you did at the ending with that too. But like I said, we're talking about Tupac, but there's a bunch of other people. What's his name from Apple shows up in that, right? And like
Steve Jobs,
Steve Jobs shows up. They're just, the Steve Jobs thing was great too. Like it just kept getting better as the book went. The progressiveness of like, how are you going to outdo the next page or pages was like, you just kept doing it. Like you kept going down and going like, oh shit, there you go. I thought I was going to see Elvis and Tupac eating at a Burger King. Like that's what I thought I was going to see at the end. And I still enjoyed the ending you did. So man, I mean, big props on that. We have to get that thing going. Our fans would definitely love that. So make sure we come back on and do that.
Yeah. I mean, I'll come back here whenever you want. I definitely want to come back when Stray Dogs 4 comes out, because I feel like I've talked a big game now, and I want to see.
You better come with it, bro.
Yeah.
Like I'm serious.
I'm not scared. I'm not worried about it.
So Tony, I know you're gonna go. So Tony, based on that premise, I have a couple of questions for you on this time traveling thing. I pulled up some '90s prices of some things, so we'll see how good we are at this. What in the 1990s, mid 1990s, what would you say is the cost of a gallon of milk?
Oh, in the mid 1990s,
less than $1?
No, $1.15, $1.13. It was $1.13.
It's $1.59.
This says we're in 90s flashback economy.asap. They say a cost of a gallon of milk was $2.96 in
Didn't they ask? I thought they asked Bush that, and he said he doesn't know because he doesn't get milk anymore. And they said it was $1.13.
What about the cost of a gallon of gas?
A gallon of gas
89 cents.
89 cents. 89 to $1.
Definitely under $1.
$1.15.
Yeah.
Really?
I guess it's regional.
All right.
I remember when I would mow lawns. I remember when it went over $1. I was just like, "This is ridiculous."
Yeah, but $1.15 where?
Well, it kind of reminds me.
We were at 99 cents for a while. I feel like they were trying to keep it there.
Yeah,
they lost that battle.
One of the things you were saying. Cigarettes,
yeah. When they went up to $1.25, and I was like, "Man, I'm gonna have to quit." And 30 years later, here I am. It's like $10 damn a pack. I'm like, "What is
Solo
wrong
just buys Lucy's from bathroom attendants."
Was a loose? That means a Lucy's like 50 cents now. That's crazy.
Yeah,
right.
I like it that they're so mad at him because he spent so long in Deadwood that he missed killing people.
There's like a list of people he missed killing.
You were supposed to kill these people.
A completely different book than the book that I'm selling right now too. Like I haven't done a very good job of building a brand for myself besides just trying to make stuff good. That's
the best brand on the market, buddy.
Who was the artist on that book, and how did you talk him into drawing some of that shit? Like,
oh, that was easy.
Yeah,
that's my buddy Christian Misi. He's a caricature artist, but he does a bunch of comics. He did a web comic years ago with the lady who played Anya on Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And he's done some other stuff. But I knew him because my first book came out from a small press publisher that was also publishing his stuff. And so we just always sort of kept up with each other. And then we would see each other at conventions because I would go set up and sell My Little Pony stuff. And he would be in like those big caricature booths where there's like 8 guys and they're doing, draw you and your girl as the Hulk or, And so we'd go get meals or whatever. And I was just like, hey, I want to start making comics. Do you want to do something? So
that's why whenever you're setting up shows, it's always cool to talk to the artist. I mean, you could have been sitting next to Tony and talking to him I mean, like, think about that, dude.
Hey, you could have drawn Time Shopper.
Yeah.
Tony, I don't think your brand is any type of genre or age group. I think it's in your pacing and in your minimalism in your storytelling. From what I've seen from Stray Dogs, I haven't read the My Pony stuff, but that's the ultimate as a writer, right? Is to be known for the skill, not the genre of that. And I think that's fantastic. I wouldn't pigeonhole yourself into one group, man. That's fantastic.
I'm just saying, like, you could pitch something, like, if you tell somebody, like, oh, it's a Brubaker thing, you're just like, oh, I know what that is. Like, it's a crimey sort of dark thing, or it's a Hickman thing, like, it's a smart, like, interconnected, all sorts of little details. If you say it's a Tony Fleecs thing, you're just like, well, does it have hand jobs in it, or is it about dogs?
Oh, there he goes. He spoiled the $5.
Hand jobs.
That's Fiverr.
Where how's it go? I don't know,
but I think it's like,
just trust me, you'll love it.
Yeah. I think even in that book, you push the limits, but like the words are used very well. The colors are very popping, and like even if you use the artist that you pick to use the style that you're going to use, works out really well. I mean, I actually, to be honest with you, your art style, like when you're drawing the stuff for ponies, is more what attracts my eyes. But then like this form of it, like this cartoon that you're choosing artists to do through Stray Dogs and that you did in Time Shoppers, like remember Bebe's Kids? Did anybody else watch that? Yeah, like that's what I think.
We don't jive, we multiply. We
right? Yeah. And that's when I'm watching Time Shoppers. I'm just like, it's Bebe's Kids, but like done in time travel. Like it's hilarious. They just do stuff like that. It's good, man.
I think Christian would take that as a huge compliment. I'm really drawn to artists when I do stuff with collaborators that are, I think of them as like what I would do, except better than I could do, like I think the people that I choose are sort of like doing the apex version of what I would want to do. So in Misi's case, like just the way that he draws comedy and the way that he draws like these caricatured.
The hair on the character too is just. I mean, they did. I mean, it's every little pinpointing thing, and that's what you see with Stray Dogs with Trish also too. Is like, just it's for me. I never remember a lot of artists' names, right? Like that's not what I do. I just know the style I like and stuff like that. But in these two, you kind of remember what's going on with them because it's such a great job that they're doing there. Hey, one more thing about Stray Dogs that I want to bring up because we brought up the Free Comic Book Day book. Is there a place maybe you might be like like, is there a way maybe like if you're in California, maybe they might.
How do you know about this?
I know about everything, brother.
I don't know about this.
Yeah, Comics Bug in Manhattan Beach is doing a variant cover of the Free Comic Book Day issue, and then I'll be down there signing it at some point on Free Comic Book Day. They've got 2 locations. I'll probably hit up both locations. I think we haven't really worked out all the details. But they wanted me to do an homage, like a horror movie homage cover. And so I did an homage to Jason Goes to Hell, which is a very garish cover. Like it's our most crass looking horror movie cover, but it works. It's kind of messed up looking. And the artist or the director of Jason Goes to Hell is a customer at that store and is a fan of Stray Dogs. And so he's going to come down too. And he'll sign them and I'll sign them. And so you can get your,
is there going to be any way that some of us that live maybe in the Midwest would be able to get those copies by any chance?
Or on the East Coast?
Or in
Arizona? I think they're going to help hold some back to sell them online too. Cool. I can show. Can we show? Do we try screen sharing last time?
Go ahead and try it. We'll try whatever you want, man. Our show goes. Hey, if you don't know, we got a drinking game, so half the wheels are already off the show. I mean, we're ready to get started.
And say that again. That's Comic Bugs.
And Comic Bug in Manhattan Beach.
We'll find out. We'll keep in touch with Tony, and we'll find out more details. Or our stalkers will find out more details too, and we'll keep it going.
Well, if I'm going to ask for the time off to drive down to Manhattan Beach, then
hey, listen, I'll take a trip out to California.
I might call a couple people and see what we can get taken care of for us, boys.
So it's pretty awesome. We got 60 people in the chat, and in honor of Tony and his Stray Dogs, I have a Stray Dogs #1 second print.
Oh,
there's 60 of us in chat right now. So let's pick a number between 1 and 60, and I'll ask Siri, and we'll give it away here in a minute. So go ahead.
Wait, can I throw a number in there?
Yeah, I want that too. I'm like, where do I type it in?
I'll trade you this one for that one. He froze.
I was gonna say how many dogs are there in Stray Dogs, and make that the number.
Well, I wanted to give, since there's 60 people, I wanted to give everybody a
That's true. That's
chance.
true. Kyle, look at you. Ultimate diplomacy.
One pick. Everybody gets one pick. And just it's 1 to 60.
1 to 60.
Go ahead, Gonzo.
Everybody, we're gonna give you guys 5 minutes while Tony tries to do the share.
Oh, I threw my number in there.
Did you share it? Did you? I gotta pull it up. I got it.
I got share.
There you are. We can actually share. Whoa! Hey, now look at that.
Yeah, so that's the Jason Goes to Hell cover. Nobody else has seen this before, so you guys are getting the
that is
early peek.
Look at that.
Shut up. Take my money. Take all of it. What do you need?
I really like this.
I'll take 7, like 8, 10. Just ship 10. How much? Screw it.
So you're telling me they're
free. What's 10 times
for
free?
this?
I'm sorry, say again?
I got to go to California for this?
Yeah, it's in Manhattan Beach at the Comic Bug.
We'll talk to some people. See if we can get some people in line down there.
Loving it.
Yeah, I think they're going to sell them online too. You have to order a bunch of them to get an exclusive, so they should have plenty. Or not. I mean, I'm not very good at this.
Yeah, I think you're underestimating what's going on with this book, Tony. Like I really do. And I don't even know what the market is to bear on it because I'm not trying to look to move any of them, but like like I have an LCS in my local area that orders a lot, and whatever I put on my poll, they double up the order automatically for it. Like they just do. And your book's not staying on the shelves. Like it just isn't staying on the shelves.
Well, that's a good thing and a bad thing too. Like a buddy of mine called me up today and he was like, "Oh, I got the last one from this shop," and I was like, "Oh, that's cool." Except for there's still 3 more weeks until the next issue comes out. So I feel like we could be selling, like we could be selling some more copies to have them on shelf for a while. But I think what we're going to end up doing is, because there will be the 5th issue comes out in June, then Free Comic Book Days in August, and then it's a month before the trade comes out. Trade comes out September 15th. So I'm hoping that we'll be able to have reprints, or we'll be able to have something so if people read the first issue on Free Comic Book Day, they can go back and get the rest of them immediately, or they'll just have to wait a month.
Floppies are doing better. Floppies are doing better than TPBs are anyways. And there's a collective market for the second and third prints. So maybe if you want to start doing some weird third prints too, that might not be a bad.
Come on, everybody, let's get your guesses in.
They got some in. Hey, there's 71, by the way. It's fluctuating between 71 and 62. So
I still want a number between 1 and 60.
Oh, I'm sorry, boss. I'm sorry. I'm just here to talk.
I can't change the rules now just because there's more people. Still a number between 1 and 60.
Well, it has been fluctuating the whole time. So there we go. Tony, thank you for sharing that too. I don't know if you saw the comments, but we get a lot of wows, and that's badasses, and they're all in. And
that's sweet.
That's sweet. Yeah, so you're getting it.
Gonzo, you can't guess twice.
Oh, my bad.
You're on the show. That's the negative part about being on the show. You actually can't guess.
You actually can't.
But we'll see what we can do. I'll give you some.
Can I take my stuff off then?
You're gonna leave?
He's gonna leave and come back.
Polo, you can't guess either.
Polo, come on, man. All right. Well, hey, look.
Sounds like I'm going to take a trip out to California.
No, right?
It's nice out here. COVID rates are way down.
I might have
the
heard.
4th be in California.
I might have heard about that. Not from that store either. I might have heard about that cover though. So we do appreciate you. Look at that. We had a reveal and a premiere on this show too, man. Yeah. That's really cool.
That was really unplanned. We just did that. I got another one.
Yeah, let's go. Whenever you want to, we're good. We're good.
Number 1 spec show and number 1 preview show.
Oh, did you read Unikorn, by the way, this week, Tony?
No, I don't know about Unikorn.
You don't want to? Yeah, look at Kyle. It's
about a young R, like the band.
Ooh.
So we have a segment where we review comics, and each week everybody throws in a couple books what they want to review. And Kyle said this week he wanted to review a book called Unikorn on Monday because it had corn with a K, and he thought it was going to be about the band. And I went into previews and said, "You didn't read the description on the previews. It's about a girl who loses her mom and gets a unicorn as a present." And he's like, "No." He's like, "Take it off the list." I was like, "Absolutely not. You need to put it on the list." And now that book's sold out. Like, it's actually a popular book, so it got sold out. Yeah.
I'll check that out on Comixology. I would read that.
Yeah.
You ready? So what is this? It's a scout book. Oh, wow. Yeah. You want me to share this?
Yeah, sure. This one's from Pastime Comics. It's a shining cover. It's by Ryan Kincaid.
Yes.
You guys know Ryan Kincaid?
It's a snitch.
What? You guys know Ryan Kincaid?
Yes.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Awesome
I know
artist.
him from conventions. And so he did this one for Pastime Comics. And I think they're going to announce it next week. So act surprised when you see it next week.
We will. We'll act really surprised, like we've never seen it before.
I guess
that's a good signing space on those jowls right there. You got a lot of room.
Yeah, we designed him like that.
Yeah,
that's funny.
Does Earl play a big part later on? Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
You think we would just do that and then like let him leave him hanging?
I tell you, after this last issue and now seeing that cover, I'm like, oh man.
Dude,
that's watch
funny.
out for Earl.
Excellent, Jack Nick.
That's not the cover is not really connected to what the content of the issue is because it's one of these horror variants. But yeah, you'll see the story of Earl. Next issue starts off with like baby Earl. Like, so you're gonna learn a lot about Earl. As the book goes on.
I'm already excited.
Me too.
I love this book, man. I love it.
Yeah, I have a lot of fun with that character. Like from the beginning, my buddy Kyle Higgins he does Radiant Black.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah, he's a great dude. I was first talking to him about this book, and he was like, "You got to have like a grumpy old dog that doesn't believe any of this shit's going on." And I was like, "That's great. Why didn't I think of that? This is why you're a good writer." But then I just sort of took that and started building this character, and I'm so excited about like people getting to see more of it because right now you hate his fucking guts, and so now the trick is like, can we make you like him again? So
I don't hate his guts. I feel like I don't. I love him.
Oh, he's a snitch.
Dude, he snitched him out. Come on, you don't snitch.
He doesn't know any better. He thinks he's doing the right thing.
That's true.
He doesn't.
No,
he doesn't. I'm looking at it from a different point of view.
I looked at it from that point of view too. I'm with you.
Tony, you do this thing in the back of the issues. I read it on Kindle. Hey, I'm sorry. I read it on Kindle, people. I know it's a comic book show. It was great. Yeah, you get that money too. And I'm saving issues for the kids, the 6-year-olds who are going to buy this thing. But in the back of the books, you have you make it a point to the dog photos of people writing in and stuff like that. Whose idea was that? Was that yours or your artist or?
Yeah,
you wanted to do something fun.
My buddy John Lehman used to do it in Chew. He would put cat pictures in the letters pages. But we have now way more dog pictures than we have issues. So I think we're going to end up.
Noticed the pages started getting more and more. You're like, that's page count, man.
Exactly. At a certain point, because the issues are longer too. Like we couldn't just do like a 4-page letters page or whatever. So I think we're going to end up having to push some of them to the end of the year when we do the specials. But
it's nice and it endears your readers to you, especially those people who get that in there and they have that. It's just another way to kind of build that culture around your book.
We get like a ton of emails, and none of them don't come with a picture of a dog. So it seems to have really worked out as far as like keeping people engaged. Every email that we get is just like, I can see in the preview, just like has JPEG. And I'm just like, all right, well, I'll get in here and read this. Before we put out the issues, I have to sort of go through, read them all, download all these dog pictures and put together these.
Any sarcastic assholes who put a hot dog or a corn dog in there and try to get you to put it?
No, the closest we get is cats. Where I'm just
like, is there anybody that puts in there that's a kid and is like telling you how much they enjoyed the artwork in it and that he has an idea to create like maybe he wants to write Spider-Man one day and then after that he wants to create like a character that starts with S and he's from Arizona and he wants to work for like an independent comic title or something like that?
You're just asking if I've heard from Todd McFarlane?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. I'm asking if there's a Todd McFarlane. Not me personally, but there's a lot of guys here who are huge fans of Todd McFarlane. And
no, me too. And when I saw he did that cover for Crossover, and I was just like, oh, do we just get Todd McFarlane covers when we do image books? Like, how do I get this going? I feel like Donnie Cates has really put in the work, like making friends with Todd McFarlane.
I think what you just need to do is mispronounce people's names there in your comics, and then that way, and then you get married or a girlfriend, and then you have them kind of draw comic books too, and then you can have them just hang out. And when you do that, the guys will start
That's how you build that relationship.
I think that is. I think
Todd
it's
McFarlane.
Say, Todd, it's great. It's a great idea I like how your last toy came out and like fingerprintless on the box, and then you had the Todd McFarlane tape. Solo Luki did a wonderful review on that, and you do that, all of a sudden Todd will get you he'll be on there and draw you a cover.
The bummer thing about it is, like, I don't feel like I could probably get Todd McFarlane to draw a cover for our book, but I feel like if the book continues to do well, like, there's a world where there could be, Todd McFarlane toys.
Yeah.
Except,
say the merch.
So the trick to Todd McFarlane is you got to get his wife to get on board with it, then he'll do it.
Got to get Wanda. I feel like I have a specific book for getting wives on board. Like, I feel like that's an easy one. But we sold, like we talked about last time, we sold the movie rights to this thing, and all the merchandising rights are all tied up in that stuff. So even if Todd McFarlane became a fan of my book, it would be a long road to get a Todd toy. That's the dream.
Oh, we're gonna get a lot of pull.
Huh. What's that?
He said he's got a lot of pull in the industry.
What if you do like chewed up baseballs, like a dog chewed on it, that are signed by you, all like Sandlot style that Todd McFarlane put out? It's his love of baseball, his toys, and we got a thing going on there. We'll talk offline, Tony.
All right, we'll work this out.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about merch. Like, are we gonna get the like I'm a snitch T-shirt with what's his name, the Earl there and stuff like that? Like, I kind of
you could easily do a dog toy line. You could easily do a dog toy line.
Well, it's tied up. He said he gave all the rights are tied up in the
dog toy rights. That's probably.
I don't know that the dog toy right. We might have found a loophole.
We're now finding we are giving him bad advice as usual, like we do with everybody else. Please don't go into the I'll try to find
a grooming business.
Listen, can
you get my dog?
Get an Earl.
Yeah. But hey, since everybody else is throwing out, like, since we get the Todd fantasy, since now all of a sudden you guys all party together over there at Image and everything else, can we go out there and talk to? There's a certain writer of a book called I got that needs to get back and get those books out real quickly. So if you could go over there and talk to Fiona and them and like get that going, I'd appreciate it, man. I really would. Because
boy, I would love that too. I hear they're just stacking them up. So
that's what he says. Yeah, he said that. From what I hear, they've already got like about 32 issues in. So like, I don't know. They could just be rumors, but I know. Well, I mean, it's been like 2 years, man. Like, they need to be something.
That's a lot for 2 years, especially if they were taking a break.
Well, were they taking? Okay. Yeah.
What were they doing during COVID? What were you doing during COVID?
That's a good call too.
Say it 4 more times so YouTube will demonetize us too. By the way, in a row. Let's go, Travis. We're almost there.
Pathos.
No, I don't think they do that anymore. They did for a while.
So the number was 21. It looks like it's a tie between writing teacher and tech. They both had 25. So let's have them give me one more guess between 1 and 20. And we'll go from there.
We got a tie.
Wait, he said 17 and 25. How can he do 2 numbers?
I did his first number.
All right.
I went with he did 25 and tech did 25. So TK421 and writing teacher. If you guys can give me a number between 1 and whatever I just said.
Tony, how big of a Star Wars fan are you, buddy?
Pretty big. I celebrate all of the movies. I've seen all of Rebels. I've seen most of Clone Wars. The novels I can't get into. They don't feel as Star Warsy to me as like I know some people that like the novels are their whole shit. But they some reason there's like a disconnect for me.
Pick a number between 1 and 20.
You should try the new Thrawn one. There's actually one coming out in a little bit, but Timothy Zahn is doing a really good job over there with some of those novels.
I always buy them, and then I'll get a little ways into them, and I'm just like, yeah. I read the one where Hera and Kanan meet each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Dawn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I read it, and like the 3rd chapter was just like about a person who watched monitors, was like a security guard who watched monitors on like a mining planet. And I was just like, this doesn't seem like Star Wars to me. Like we would zip right past this guy, like the ship would go by and that guy would be like looking at a monitor and they just go like that, and then we would be moved past it. But instead it was like 10 pages. And as much as I like to go deep on stuff with Star Wars, I feel like the way you're talking about how Stray Dogs has
minimal
images and words and you don't get slowed down and you don't get stopped up on anything, like that's how Star Wars is to me, where I'm just
you don't need Nathaniel Hawthorne to write your Star Wars novels.
Yeah, exactly. I do read the comics. I like Darth Vader a lot right now. and I really like the Dr. Aphra up until the most recent one. I think I need to sit down and read it in a clump because issue to issue, I'm not as into it.
Well, okay, so that's also they've moved that style, right? So they're doing like the let's give you something, the cliffhanger style. They're doing it in all the Star Wars now, which is kind of a little annoying because it didn't used to be the Hulk 180, Hulk 181 that they're doing now. And unfortunately, with Aphra, it seems like they're dumping a lot of like they just did the denial thing. So they're I think they're trying to get the regular readers of the regular sections to like Aphra, which you don't need to do because the Aphra series was a lot better early on, especially in the first run where they talked about her like upbringing and stuff like that in the background. So
yeah, I like the Gillen stuff a lot, and I like the Cy Spurrier stuff a whole lot too.
Oh yeah, they got some good writers on that. Okay, Kyle, what'd you get? We talked Star Wars, so I know you were annoyed and put us all on mute. But
no, I was actually not paying attention. But they were both 4 away, so they have to do it one more time, picking up between 1 and 10. Whoever's closest wins because they were both 4 away.
Are you kidding me? Come on. This is why our shows are off the wheel all the time.
Is there any chance they could tie again?
If they do, just pick one. We'll send them something.
If they tie again.
Odds are evens. Odds are evens.
If they tie again, I will send them a copy.
Oh, look at that. Yeah. Stand up guy.
A King Solomon. Is that the King's baby? Or is that King?
Yeah,
I think it's
split him in half.
A Seinfeld episode as well.
Yeah. We're talking about the one. I tell my kids that story all the time, and they don't never understand.
So it's between 3 and 4. So I'm gonna have them picking over between 1 and 10.
What do you mean?
Siri picking in between 1 and 10.
Why don't you just do 1 and 5? So that way it's gonna pick one of those.
Okay, Siri.
What we're doing.
Siri picking in between 1 and 5. It's 3.
All right,
that is
3
right
it is. TK. Yeah, you literally so you might have. Tony's got to ruin it because you might have set that up when you said pick a number between 1 and 5. 3 is right in between 1 and 5. All right, all right, Stray Dogs. You ran into your high school students?
That's awesome.
Sweet.
That is good, man. That is super cool. All right, Tony, we have sucked you in for an hour and 15 minutes. As usual, if you'd like to stay around with this tomfoolery, you are more than welcome. You can hear our reviews on what DC book came out this week that we just were too old to get. Or, we're going to talk some Nightwing, some X-Men, a couple other books we're going to review because we already reviewed your book. Or you can go. Man, we don't.
I probably should get back to work. I got to go draw ponies and Transformers.
Don't be sad about that. We really look. Me and Gonzo got it.
I'm stoked.
Yeah, dude, we really are.
When I heard the second volume was coming out, I was like, "Here we go."
All right, we're good.
I gotta go back to LCS.
We appreciate it.
So we'll see you again in a month to make sure that 4 lives up to the hype.
Yeah, hit me up. I'm ready to come back. We'll talk
not
about
soon enough.
Absolutely,
man.
and you know what? We'll hit you up if we want to leak some panels or stuff next time, so we can get a little bit better too. I'll hit you up on the thing, and we'll figure it out.
You know where to find me.
All right,
sweet. Appreciate
you guys so much for having me on.
Hey, before you go, Tony, tell everybody where they can hit you up and where they can find you real quick before you go.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Tony Fleecs. There's a Stray Dogs mailing list you can join on straydogscomic.com. But I mean, if you follow me on Twitter or Instagram, it's pretty much like all I'm doing is really promoting this book right now. I'm annoying people who come to me for other things. I'm just only talking about this. So if you're interested in this book, that's where you'll find out about it.
Check out his new PetSmarts line, Stray Dogs, Chew Toys.
I definitely am going to email my lawyer and see if that's in the cards.
Yep. Nice. Do it. Hey, get ready for Time Shoppers. Chat.
Oh,
MCM. Get ready for Time
Fire.
It's legit.
Thanks so much.
All right,
Tony.
Thanks, Tony.
All right, see you guys soon.
All right, later. That dude's dope, man. He's legit. He is.
Yeah. Man, you guys have me on 2 weeks in a row, and I'm so spoiled for these great interviews you guys have let me jump in on. This is fantastic.
I'm telling you, dude,
gentlemen like this.
Like what
you heighten the interviews though by
you use big words. Yeah. You use 8th grade level words.
The big words.
We use the 3rd grade level words. You use 8th grade level words. 8th grade level words.
But good. Dog's fun.
Dog go woof woof. Dog phone over.
I will be going to California in August.
Right? I want that cover.
Well,
that cover.
That's not a lie.
Isn't a free comic book day in May?
Dude, Time Shoppers sounds amazing. And Marco, when you're like, you throw some money on that Time Shoppers, the premise, I'm like, I don't have 6 sets of twins. I will throw some money on that too, for sure.
I was hoping he'd give me options, though. I was like, yeah, I'll throw a K on it for a couple options. But, you know,
yeah. No, he was like, you can get a GTO car.
Like 10. Come on. For 10, though, bro, we definitely talking options. No, it's good, Kyle. I mean, I was watching Kyle read it, and that book is just, I don't know how he's going to do a series out of it, but the first book was good, man. It was really good.
But it's just going to be a Kickstarter, you said?
That's what he's going to do. And they're going to give away a bunch of cool shit. So I suggest y'all save up some of those checks y'all are getting and leave a little bit of money for him.
Yeah.
So
be looking for that.
He is, by the way, when you ask around about him, that wasn't a lie. Like when people start bringing up his name, dozens of people brought up his name, and everything they say about that guy is legit. And he sure seems legit to me. Yeah. But all right, let's go through the rest. Man, that was such a high moment. And now we're going to have to review what is on the list, Kyle. August 14th, by the way, everybody.
It's August 14th. So the first one we have to...
The ACT words. That's good. I like this writing teacher. All right, so what are we going? Did we completely lost track? I'll pull some of this stuff up because we were going to do... We didn't know how crazy was that. We're like, we're going to do a little stopper just in case Tony says we can't spoil the book. And he was like, nah, go ahead. Let's review it.
He was like, let's do it.
I'm here. Let's do it.
So are we going to go from that to the very long books?
Does anybody else get a feeling like that dog didn't get shot?
No, he got shot.
Yeah, I do.
They yelled the fuck out of that dog.
Travis, I have a feeling he didn't get shot. Yep.
I
think there's going to be a subversion in this.
Because when Travis was talking about like, hey, you left it open. If you would have saw his face, I'm like, I think Travis might have.
There's a part of me that hopes he didn't.
Yeah, he does not play poker well. There's a lot of giveaways. If you guys have guys, when you're done with this, go back and rewatch that. There's a couple questions that were being asked. As you can see, there's a lot of times I was trying to push him away from saying stuff, and Travis was using big words, and so was Gonzo to really key in on what they wanted to hear him say. And if you looked at his facial features and a little bit of his switching in the chair,
he got a little red. He got a little red. He got a little red.
Hey, things are open. Maybe he didn't get shot, and like I don't know. I got off of his facial expression, like, oh, I think.
Well, here's the thing. I don't know how you'd get out of the track you're on. So if that was the case, that's even more reason to keep reading. Is like, how does a storyteller get out of that? Like, you've trapped yourself in this track. How do you get out of that? I would be impressed. I would actually bow down more if he somehow was able to flip all those expectations and take us back, you know, a la Ocean's 11 style, and be like, you thought this was happening, but this was happening the whole time.
So we read Time Shoppers, and that's what he does in the end of Time Shoppers, man. So,
Henry style.
Yeah, I mean, don't get right, Kyle. That's what happened there. I mean, that I'm trying not to give this away because I want this book to be made. Like, it's that good.
Yeah.
Are we really going to cover Ways of X now after this?
Well, we've already talked about books 1 and 3 of the 5.
By the way, greatest speculation show ever. If he does happen to show up, he didn't kill that dog. Greatest spec show ever.
Unicorn between Unicorn. We may be the
number one spec show and number one preview show.
That's it. Absolutely. There's definitely going to be YouTubers that are going to write big long Twitters about how much they hate our show tomorrow. I will tell you that.
It won't be the first time, and it's not
won't be the first time. Won't be the last. Good luck with that one, boys. I enjoy it. Come to the dark side.
I'm actually interested in talking about this one, so I will make it work.
Way of X. I actually like this. So like it is of the Hickman style. It kind of picks up there. They bring in a couple of the characters that people like, but you don't always see. You get a little bit of the Blink, you get a little bit of the Nightcrawler, you get a little bit of the Pixie. And Pixie hasn't died yet. For those people that aren't caught up on X-Men, all the mutants can be reborn on an island. That's the long and short of it. It doesn't matter. Some haven't. they start teasing Pixie about how she hasn't died yet. And she needs to do it to come back. They go to a museum that has a bunch of old stuff, and they have like the typical mutant hating crew on there where they're programming them to hate the mutants. And that crew is supposed to go there for something.
It's a propaganda museum for anti-mutant recruitment.
Yes, and this is a propaganda book for doing drugs because Pixie all of a sudden gives the pixie dust, which makes these priest propagandists start tripping out. They start thinking they see an angel. You like this part here, Travis? It seems like you enjoyed this book.
Yeah, I did. I actually really enjoyed this book because here's the thing. For me, Nightcrawler, other than his like visual, like aesthetic, hasn't been a character. I actually didn't like all the religious stuff in the previous X universe that Nightcrawler would bring up, but now is the perfect time to use this. And I thought the Pixie, this panel you have here, where she like willingly, I don't know how spoilers you get into these books.
Yeah, we do.
She willingly gives her life up as like almost like her friends, like, yeah, you haven't died yet? You gotta do it. It's the coolest. It's like wheezing the juice. So, you know, you gotta do it. And I thought that, wow, what a life is so cheap in Krakoa, and you can't have a society that functions in throwing away life. And Nightcrawler is seeing that. And I love the fact that before this book, he talks about wanting to start a Krakoan mutant religion, but he's conflicted now that he sees the reality of it. He doesn't know how to do it. And so you're watching the events, him observe the events that are going to be probably the core of the upcoming issues on how he builds this religion. And I find that fascinating as someone who's not religious and who gets bored by preachy characters, finding a perfect use for the character of Nightcrawler.
So writing teacher had said to actually like the last Nightcrawler individual one was when he was a pirate in the Maraud. That's why I thought Marauders wasn't going to take off well. And it actually did. It's doing pretty well. This part two, where they actually give him a little bit of humor. He sees a statue of Magneto, and I think they're kind of laughing at themselves too in this book, which is kind of cool. So he goes down and he talks to Magneto and says, "Hey man, you got to see, man, they put something in that museum that may not be the best." And it's pretty much it's a statue from X-Men 1. Yeah. And then they have everybody like, and Nightcrawler just kind of clowns them. And Magneto gets into this big pompous speech, turns it around. So you can kind of see how everything's going on there. It says, "Thanks for the opportunity." Also, what I found interesting was when they introduced this. So, okay. So they have magical mushrooms on. That's why I was saying, like, making the joke about the drug thing, because they have magical mushrooms. Yeah. This one too. So not just pixie dust, but they've got like this thing where Magneto is making these kids, and this was the religious aspect of it, right? Like, no longer is Nightcrawler, he's seeing what religion's bad portions can be. Like, if you're so much that you read the word of it, right? Like now all of a sudden, you're smacking your back because you're punishing yourself or whatever it is. There's always some type of, always some type of demonization of it, which I think is very important. I'm the opposite of you. I'm religious, and I practice a lot of things like Lenten service and stuff like that. But I do find these types of overzealous or zealots to be ridiculous in religion. So I mean, it speaks out, I think, to both portions of it. So this character ends up dying because she doesn't think she's worthy, which is just the dumbest thing in the world. Doc here tries to give Nightcrawler a magical mushroom. And then the rebirth, and then what you were talking about, Travis, where you get that little morality of it. The funny part, though, too, is they keep adding humor in here. And when they first saw this panel, people were like, "Why are they throwing up?" I was like, "Read the book." But it's because the power set the imbalance of this new character that was reborn started making everybody throw up. So now they got drugs, puke, and religion all in one.
This is it. What about this Patchwork Man? What about this Patchwork Man? That's like Sugar Man, like reincarnated kind of idea.
Yeah, so I'm not quite sure by the end, too, because I was a little taken away with this. I wasn't sure if that was a trip from the rebirth that people just aren't mentioning, or if in the end, after the whole Xavier conversation and everything else, because he starts to see the Patchwork Man, too, if it was just David, Legion, doing that little trip out thing, because now he's starting to mess with the characters on the island. So we'll see what that is. Look, for $5, they've actually done it right now. They gave you like 1,000 pages in this book. The book was forever.
Well, We need a device in the X universe. If these characters can be reborn at any time, you need a consequence to that. Otherwise, stories have no stakes. And I feel like this book is going to give that X Krakoa universe some stakes.
Yeah, I do too.
I think it's what's greatly needed.
You know, everybody's always like, oh, there's 80,000 titles, and I get that, but some of these surprise titles, ever since Hickman's kind of taken the charge, some of these surprise ones like Marauders and now this book too might be the winners out of it, right? I think Gonzo, you read it and you're like, I don't even read X books, and this one I might pick. You said you might. You didn't say you were going to, but you're like, I might pick up number 2.
Yeah, when I saw that on the read list, I'm like, all right, I'm not a big X-Men guy. I do like X-Men Legends, like older X-Men, but like this newer stuff and like all the different titles of X whatever, X this, X that. But when I finished reading this, I was like, oh, I fairly enjoy it. Like, makes me debate about actually buying the second issue.
We gotta stop saying X so much because you're turning Solo Wookiee on when you say it 3 times in a row.
It's like Beetlejuice.
You know, I think it's funny because there's always the debate about like preachy books or preachy stuff and this or that. And X-Men as a whole has always been a little bit like it has been, but the better runs of it has been when they've preached to you, but they've done it in this manner, in this way of X manner, where it's like they give you the preachiness of how religion can be bad, but also how having no morals can be bad too. They give you the back and forth of like, they just give you a lot of different things in here, and they do it in a good way that isn't too like smack you with it. Like every single line, make it too wordy, hit you up with art where you're like, okay, I get it, man. And I thought they did a good job. Kyle, you hate X titles. What did you think of the book?
I didn't read it.
There you go. All right, very good.
Well,
He was too busy reading Unicorns.
I was.
Let me ask you guys this: those who read it, this is yet another of these new Hickman era books that's using the document framework of didacted documents as a framework for the story. Are you getting exhausted with that? How long can they keep this up? What's going on here?
I like that part actually. And like I said, I don't read a lot of X-Men titles, but those parts I actually enjoyed them.
So it feels like it gives you more bang for your buck, doesn't it? It feels like you're getting more deep prose in the comic that you paid $4.99 for. These books,
absolutely.
You know?
And like I said, I don't know, maybe I appreciate it more because I don't read X-Men. So when I read these, I'm like, oh, okay. Like now I'm getting like deeper into like what's kind of going on and what's been going on. So like I don't know, for somebody who doesn't read any X titles and having to read this one, I enjoyed those parts actually.
Good. So I actually had to go back after because I skip over them now. It's like it becomes mind numbing. So like I have skipped over them, so I have to go back and read them at the end because I'm like, oh, I probably because you'll see parts where you're like, oh, I know they explain this up in that last portion, and you go back to read those little case file type things. And
do
then
you read the first page, the middle page, and the last page of every book?
No, so
is that what you do with Stray Dogs?
So since you have it.
Yeah. I didn't read the like reprint of Magneto's first appearance. I saw what they were doing in that newspaper article, and so I'm like skipping that, you know.
Yeah. But I mean, I go back. That's right. So what they do, Kyle, in these books is they give you a story, then they stop the story. They give you like a 1-page classified debriefing, and then you go on. So, and then they do it again, and then you do it again. So I skip over those and go back and read them at the end because it is what it is.
And I'm not a big X reader as well. I like to pick up every now and then a couple of different issues. Like I said before, when we were talking, last ones I read was the House of X Powers of 10, and I enjoyed that. When I read this one, I felt a little confused, and I think part of that was because I didn't normally with the X-Men titles when I pick them up, like House of X Powers of 10, I had to read that like 2-3 times to really get my mindset in it, much like you were just talking about, Marco. And I think once I go back and I reread this one, I felt very confused after the first read. Like, what did I miss, or did I not understand that correctly? So hearing you talk about and explain some of that just now helped a lot. And it was like, okay, I did have a lot of that right. And I did it. but I'll still go back and I'll probably read it again. And anytime that you put Nightcrawler on a cover like that, that artwork was sick, and I love Nightcrawler. So, I like the way that they played him out. I like the way that they had him interacting with everybody. I thought it was very good. I'll probably pick up number 2 of this as well.
I think, Solo, you make a good point there, and then we'll I know you want to move on, but I read House of X and Power of X and a couple of issues after it, but I hadn't been picking it up since. So going into this, I was a little bit worried that I wouldn't be able to follow, the months that have happened since almost a year that's happened since then. And I feel like if there is a book that if you've only read that event that you can pick up and still make sense, I think this is that book.
So that's a very valid point, and I know a lot of people want to stick around because we are going to play Keep, Sell, and Burn.
Oh, right.
Yeah. But I think that's a very valid point, and that's kind of how I brought it in. Like this book, they're doing this every X books. I'm going to tell you, they get overwhelming. They really do. I understand why people don't like X books, but what they've been doing well with this Hickman run is that there's at least one book in that breaks directly off of the main thing. And this is the one during this run that's breaking directly off. So if you need a starting point to get into an X-Men book, I think this is better. I mean, I hate that. I do hate the rebirth of the original cast. I mean, that's stuff we just go. All right. So we're going to do Flashpoint first, because I know that Kyle wants to dig into, or not 0 Point, because I know Kyle wants to dig into Nightwing. But so there was the 0 Point book for all you people that were surprised that Gonzo, tell us what you were surprised at your LCS today. Or this week, yeah.
Oh yeah, these Fortnite people just took over my LCS. I would say easily 15, 20 minutes before they open. There's a line of 12, and people that I've never seen at the comic book store ever.
Yeah, I mean it was an interesting crowd at the LCS. People were going crazy for this book. The weird part was some people were selling it on Tuesday because that's when you get your DC books in. Others were on Wednesday. I don't think people realize how that works. If you play Battle Royale games, if you played the PUBGs, if you play Warzone, by the way, there's a new update for Warzone. It's pretty dope. Or if you play this Sub-Zero Apex, I've never played a Fortnite, but there's a code in it that people wanted. There's some characters, and
from what I understand, you had to have multiple codes to get the skin. It's all about
you have to.
Skin.
No,
you have to. So there's one here. It's for different stuff. So like there's one in this book. The next book's going to have another one. So each one gives you something, gives you an exclusive, right? The code does. And then at the end, it's just like any other of these battle royales where you're buying stuff. So you get one extra skin if you get all the codes in, if you finish off the selection thing, from what I understand.
I think this one was so popular because this one was a Harley Quinn skin.
No, the Harley Quinn I thought was the next one.
No,
I thought this one was
no, this one was the Harley Quinn and the pickaxe as a weapon, I think.
I thought
I must have misunderstood that, because I know there's 2 special skins. One's a Harley and the other one I can't remember what it is.
Like Marco was saying, like if you collect, is it 5 or 6 issues?
Yeah, 5 or 6 issues.
All right, I think you collect all 5 or 6 issues. It's supposed to unlock like this ultimate Batman, I think it is.
Oh yeah, Andrew just said the Batman armored suit. Okay.
Yeah.
The Batman armor suits, which if you get them all. By the way, call your LCS, because there is a Snake Eyes one coming out, and people are flipping out over the cover. Just regular comic book collectors are. So they kind of try to explain. They just do a lot of fan service here. They give you the Tin Tap Man tomato. They give you a bunch of other stuff over here too. A bunch of the characters. I've never played the game before. I don't know. Kyle has, because he plays.
I do have a question. How do they get away with the Snake Eyes? Isn't Snake Eyes IDW, and isn't that?
Yeah, so this is it. So the rights. This is to the Fortnite thing, and I guess Snake Eyes was a skin in Fortnite. That's the only way I can think. I don't,
because
if this was a DC PUBG or DC Warzone, I could explain it. I can't explain it. Yeah, I think it's 2.
Okay. Because I saw the cover for whatever it was, 2 or 3 with Snake Eyes and Batman on it, and I was like, wait, Snake Eyes? He's IDW. Like, how are they bringing him over to a DC comic?
I think it has to do with the licensing allowance because he was a Fortnite character.
So here we go.
We're trying to DC comic, though, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay. So here's the thing. We're trying to explain unicorns and Fortnite. Two things that are way they're way the fuck out of our realm. Like,
yeah, I hear you.
And that's
no, Marco, don't. So you got an extra hour. So unicorns started way back a long time ago.
We're done with that. All right. Two things that are out of the realm of us explaining are those two things. Just know that there's a Snake Eyes cover coming out too, and these kids just want the codes. Millions of money they paid off. Okay, cool. Whatever. Hey, I guess he plays Fortnite, and that's cool, man.
As long as Rob Liefeld isn't drawing Snake Eyes, and at least Snake Eyes gets feet, I'm good.
The cover looks good,
and only 2 pouches.
The DMR's going back to meta, and so is the
at least we get the Jim Lee Snake Eyes crotch shot with issue 3.
Darth says that they do a lot of crossovers. I think it's a Fortnite thing. I don't know, man. I actually tried to read this book and was like, wow, it's.
You didn't. I didn't think the story was
feet and crotches. Give Kyle what he wants.
It was like, oh, there's a circle closing. Why are they still fighting in the circle? I was like, yeah, wow, that's a great battle royale joke. I mean, I don't know. It was just that book wouldn't sell if it wasn't.
You got to think about who it's geared towards.
No, the only reason that book sold was because of the code. That's the only reason that book sold.
Yeah, well, I mentioned it earlier. Like how popular will this book be like later down the road, since half these books are going to get thrown away because everybody just wants the code. Here's the code. There's the comic.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So once they use the code, does the book have any value? Just like you're saying, are they all going to throw it away? Are they going to keep it?
Well, if you think about
the price right now high,
is Sports Illustrated Kids, and I'm not talking about the Jordan covers, but is Sports Illustrated Kids a collector item because of nostalgia? Nope. Then neither is going to be Fortnite comics.
I don't know. Right. This could be because listen, right now there's a lot of heat on Fortnite trading cards.
Well, and here's another part of the problem that I heard is that the code is time sensitive. You only have a limited amount of time. It expires after a certain day, and then the codes are no longer good.
A year.
You can't just save them all up and try and do it either that way.
Yeah, but if you think about CGC wise, if you submit a comic and somebody ripped the code out, it's incomplete.
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
You know,
I love this cover, Marco. Transition this shit. This is great.
First off, the code's on a card for a year.
Yeah.
Time for the dick joke.
Okay. You get two.
And there's one.
Yeah,
so we'll start. So Nightwing picks up. I love the first page of this book because what it does is it's showing Robin, it's showing the Perez Nightwing, it's showing. I know he didn't draw it, but it's showing Kyle Higgins' New 52 Nightwing. And now it's showing the present day Nightwing.
Yeah, it's cool.
And I thought that was awesome that you got to see like the Robin phases, Robin into Nightwing phases.
That is cool.
And I wish I would have actually brought it up because, Tony had brought up Kyle Higgins and he's the one who actually wrote the New 52 Nightwing. So I thought it was pretty cool. But what happens here is Dick finds out that he gets all of last issue. He found out that he gets all of Bruce's money. So now that he's here and he's got Bruce's money, he's trying to figure out the best way that he can. Like, he's still not thinking of himself as being Bruce Wayne rich. He's still, to me, it still seems like he's still level-headed, orphaned, even though he wasn't an orphan long, but he was orphaned, and he's still like not thinking like he's got, Bruce Wayne money.
Well, he's wearing a Smashing Pumpkins Zero t-shirt in this panel, so that does help.
That shows you something, right?
Yeah.
He also got his wallet stolen by a bunch of kids, so that's typical.
Now he's broke again. No.
Robin took it. Robin.
But what I liked about this is actually what was going on is Dick is like, you know I can be a superhero, but now that I have Bruce Wayne money, what can I actually do as Dick Grayson? And what he's doing is trying to figure out how to help people. So he actually sees kind of like some homeless people, and he gets a lot of homeless people. Not only does he help a bunch of homeless people, but he's helping a business that is struggling because, you know, if you see later, and it actually says going out of business. And in the process of him being nice, some punk ass kids steal his wallet. And as that's going on, some of the people help. This creature thing takes one of the homeless people's hearts, because we don't really know what's going on with that, which is actually kind of cool. And he goes, and what happens is now what he's trying to figure out is now he's got to dress up as Nightwing to get his wallet back, because he can't just fucking find these kids without being Nightwing. He finds them, and in front of that pizza place is a mob family. And he's checking it out, and he noticed that the kids who took his wallet, because his wallet is actually tracked, he's actually snagging a wallet from those. The kids are snagging a wallet from the gangsters, and they catch him. Dick goes and he kicks his ass. He does some dick whacking, and there's my second dick joke. Thank you.
I like that. You know, Kyle, if this was an hour earlier, I would have really chuckled at that.
But and what happens is he finds like a whole homeless camp of kids.
Yeah, I just that hole in the heart thing was crazy. I didn't see that coming.
What happened to that? In his heart. It's in the center of his chest.
Yeah, well, you know,
but it does take his heart out. That guy's chest was his heart was in a different spot in his chest.
Yeah. Yeah, he just had a different heart chest.
Right.
He finds the homeless kids who are all like, their parents are all gone, right? Was that it? Because they'd all gotten the heart. Yeah. What do they call the guy? The heart guy or something like that?
The Heartless.
Well, I read the wrong Nightwing book for this based on the list, and this art is way better. Very rarely, well, maybe I don't read a lot of Nightwing, but I don't see Nightwing drawn in other styles but house style very much. And I think that this is a really great take on Nightwing that's a little bit off the house style of art. And so I think that's interesting. Just looking at those panels and what you were showing me there, this would make me want to read a Nightwing book more. I read a very house style Nightwing.
Go ahead, Solo.
When I saw that, because I just perused it real fast, I kind of wondered, so you find all these kids. Did the Italian mobsters kill their parents and take the kids and put them there?
No, I'm thinking what we're thinking is they take all those kids there. Yeah, the hearts got taken of their parents or whatever.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Just like we talked about 90 seconds before you asked.
So basically, it's not as Stray Dogs where the mobsters went out and killed their parents and took the kids.
We don't know that, Solo.
Okay.
Hold on.
I'm just saying, maybe.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so on that point, are we ready to get into it? Are we ready to get into the?
Are we gonna born?
Yeah, what is it? It's save. Yeah. It's save, burn,
keep, sell, or burn.
Keep,
are we gonna
burn.
Keep it? Okay. Sell it. There's 3 books. We got 3 books to choose from. We have to keep one. We have to sell one. We have to burn one.
We heard you enjoyed this segment. We were only going to do it once a month. We brought it back again for a second show this month. We've tailored it down and taken some of your suggestions. So please give us the thumb up below. Oh, by the way, this is the deal. I want to review Geiger, and I'm getting pushback. So if we get 75 thumbs up, we doesn't matter how many thumbs down we get. 75 thumbs up, we will review Geiger, and that will settle this dispute between me and Kyle. And because there's a 3rd print coming out, I think it'll still be acceptable.
Hold that up again, Kyle. Hold that up. Is that HP Geiger? Are we doing the item artist from the Aliens? Oh, okay. Never mind.
Is that the dark one?
Yes, it is. It's
It actually is pretty cool. It goes.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So it's like the old school Venom ones and stuff, where you hold them up to the light.
All right, I'm ready for this. Keep, sell, burn.
All right, keep, sell, burn. Here we go.
We got burn. Here we go.
Got 3 categories this time. One's going to be Marvel, and Marvel is going to be Spider-Man secondary characters. The second one is going to be DC. It's going to be DC Justice League Dark. By the way, because of last time when we told you it doesn't matter the grade or the value, and you still decided in chat that you're going to make it about grade and value, we actually put grades on these books so they're similar in the DC category. And the third is going to be independent, and we'll get into that when we get to it. Let's start off with the Marvel. Here you go, Spider-Man second type characters. Look at that Spider-Man logo. I love it. Yeah, like from the cartoon. So the first book we have is 149. That's Amazing Spider-Man 149. That's the first appearance of the Spider-Man clone. The second book on the list would be Marvel Spotlight 32, which would be obviously the first Spider-Woman. The third book would be, what do I have for the third book? Yes, 194, Amazing Spider-Man 194, Black Cat. And that's what we got. Do not start saying which ones are newsstands or anything else, please. Okay, so they're around the same value this time for you guys because you guys couldn't just get that out of your mind. We have which book are we going to keep, which book are we going to burn, and which book are we going to sell? Who would like to go first? Let's go.
Gonzo in Jersey, they burn a lot of stuff. You know, you can smell it. Why don't you go first?
All right. Well, I would burn the clone.
Okay.
I'm a big Spider-Woman right now, so I would keep Spider-Woman, and I would sell Black Cat.
Nice.
Nice.
See, solo. That's how it's done. All right. Solo, give it to us. Let's see if you can mimic that.
I mimic that. I'm a big Spider-Woman fan and I collect it, so I'm selling the cat and I'm burning the clone.
Really? All right, Travis, do you have anything different
for
us?
Yes, I do have something different for you. I am going to keep the clone. I feel like the clone is such a part of Spider-Man history, the good and the bad of it, what it became in the 90s. This is reminiscent. This is where it starts off. Love Spider-Man or hate Spider-Man. A lot of it rests on the clone, and this is the issue. I'm not a big Spider-Woman fan, so I would burn that shit. Oof. And Black Cat is a notorious promiscuous woman, and I would keep her in my stable of comic book women.
There you go. Kyle, what do you have?
I think I would sell the 194.
Okay.
I would keep the Spider-Woman, and I'm going to burn the clone.
Oh my god! All right, so
a lot of clone burning.
I'm with Travis too. You don't get, if you burn the clone, you don't get Ben. You don't get a lot of other stuff that comes out of there. I think that is the more important issue. So I'm definitely keeping that issue. I actually hate the cover of this Marvel Spotlight, and it was a toss-up between which two I'm going to burn, but I'm going to burn it because I actually don't like the cover of that one, and the character is okay, and plus, what's that outfit? Get out of here with it.
Dude, Jessica Drew's popping right now.
Huh?
Jessica's popping right now.
Yeah, whatever. I mean,
Marco, did we just become best friends? I think so.
So, yes. and that's the thing too. Like, hey, I like a little bit of a freaky old lady. So, give me the Black Cat. There you go. That's what I got too.
Bromance in T.
Yeah, that's what's happening.
That's what I got on those 3. And by the way, they're around the same price and the same grade. That's what we're trying to hit at too, because I know people couldn't get rid of it. So
smart.
There you go.
That was smart, and you put some work into that. Thank you.
There you go. DC, we've got Justice League Dark. Now, you know, this is one of my favorites. I love Justice League Dark when we're talking about the Dark. And by the way, I didn't put, and everybody's gonna say this before. Okay, hey, we'll put chat on mute because before you guys all start yelling about Constantine, because last time we did this, you complained about the price of the books. I had to do the price of the books too again. So we're going to have House of Secret in a 9.4. That's about an 8K book. Okay, then we're going to have, that's for Swamp Thing, by the way, and one of the most overrated covers there is. Then we're going to have Hawkman. First appearance is Zatanna, also in a 9. No, it's a 9.6. It's got to be around the same price. No, 9.4. 9.4 is about 8K. That's right. And then we have Strange Adventures 205, First Dead Man. That's a Neil Adams cover, and that's a 9.6 there. Hope you guys all like the graphics on that. It took me very long to do that because I use both thumbs to do everything I do. All right, so here we go. Once again, House of Secrets, 9.4. First Swamp Thing. God rest him. Great artist there. Might have stole that character from Man-Thing. But either way, we won't know if that's true or it's true. Okay, Hawkman. First Santana, 9.4 on a key book, and a 9.6 on Strange Adventures, which would be First Dead Man, Neil Adams, 2.6, even though I'm not Neil Adams fans. What do we have? Who are we starting off with? Gonzo, you are the guest. Gonzo, who are we starting off with? What do you got?
So this is a tough one because I just don't like Justice League Dark. So
Gonzo coming in hot.
I guess I would have to. I would keep Santana.
All right. Keeping Hawkeye. All right.
Keep Hawkeye.
Hawkman.
I probably would burn Strange and sell House of Secrets.
Yeah. All right. All right. There you go. That's it.
Nice.
I just like Zatanna, so Hawkman it is. I keep that one.
That's great. Eric's up there with you. He says keep Hawkman, sell House, and then burn Strange.
Yeah, burn Strange.
You guys are both voted off the island. Solo, go ahead. What do you got?
Keep. It can't be like
just
no.
Just
keep.
Right. Okay. All right. So Kyle, what do we got?
I'm going to. Ooh, man, that's a tough one. I think I'm gonna keep Zatanna. Hawkman, I'm gonna keep it. I am going to sell. I'm gonna sell the Dead Man, and I'm burning House of Secrets.
All right, that's interesting, and that's gonna cause some problem in the chat. So, give it to us. What you got?
I'm keeping Strange. I'm selling. I'm selling House, and I'm burning Hawkman.
Really?
Yeah, nice. All right. Travis, what do we have?
All right, here's the thing, guys. Here's the real answer. You got to keep House of Secrets. I'm interested to hear about Marco's cover, but that's for a different episode. House of Secrets, Swamp Thing, so huge, so great. Gonzo, as a Jersey guy, Swamp Thing's the closest you have to Toxic Avengers, which is a Jersey-based team. So you got to keep that. Keep that. That's so much there. I'm going to burn Hawkman, the Zatanna appearance. Zatanna, people love her. She's coming back in. Not me. Make her good. Like the broke-ass Constantine. Get the shit out of here. Dead Man, keep it because I'm burning Zatanna. I got to keep Dead Man.
All right, nice. I like it. I love the energy. Even getting late here. Everybody give us a thumbs up down there. Make sure you're playing the drinking game. I don't even know where that thing is anymore. We'll hit it more times next. Here we go. Okay. House of Secrets. First off, if your roommate wasn't writing Man-Thing, there would be no Swamp Thing. Okay. So you're a bad ripoff too. By the way, she also doesn't look at how bad that art is. And I know we're not supposed to talk about the dead badly about this, but does she look scared of the Swamp Thing that's coming out there? No, she's like, oh, look at this little pedophile creeper in the background. It's not as good of a cover.
Looks like the teacher from Billy Madison.
Yes, it's not as good as a cover as everybody says it is. It was a pump and dump that just went off the rails. Not that cool. All right.
Oh, I thought we were best friends.
Hawkman. If you're going to buy a Zatanna covers, buy one that maybe Adam Hughes does. Garbage book. Number 3, garbage artist on this book. Brilliant book. Dead Man is probably the best out of all of them, so I'm keeping Dead Man. I'm selling House of Secrets because there's a sucker born every minute, and I'm burning Hawkeye. Send it. All right.
Hawkman's getting burnt.
All right, go. Yeah, we're going to get
I like the sucker born every minute. I like that.
Send all letters to
sucker born every minute.
Send all comments to Comic Book Jesus. He loves them. Or there's other people you can send them to too. Last one. Image Comics. We're going to do Image Comics. We are going to do first team ups. Number ones. So we've got, we've got Cyberforce number 1 by who, Kyle?
Mark Silvestri.
There we go. We have got, next is the Waterworks imprint. We've got Wildcats by who, Kyle?
Jim Lee.
All right. And then thirdly, Kyle's favorite, we've got
Mr. Robbie L with his Youngblood.
All right. So you cannot burn them all, people. Gonzo, you're the guest. Please don't burn all the books.
Really? Yeah, pass.
So you can not give this information. What's your age demographic here? What I'm just kind of curious.
Mine? These books.
Yeah.
I'm 35 going on 36.
Okay. All right. So you know these books. So that's a legitimate pass. All right.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
He can pass. We'll come back to him. Solo Wookie, please give us some hamster wheel computer thing that you got. Go with it.
Weave us the story of these books.
I am 35 going on 38, and I'm keeping the Wildcats. I am selling the Cyber Force, and I am burning the Youngblood.
All right, you made a whole $1 for selling the Cyber Force. Go ahead.
I already have it, so
go ahead, Kyle.
Now he's got $2.
Yeah, go ahead.
I am going to keep.
Kyle, give your age, please.
No way. I'm going to keep Wildcats. I'm going to sell Youngblood, and I'm burning Cyberforce.
Wait, what? What'd you say that again? I was reading Driving the Wall isn't an option. Say that again.
I'm keeping Wildcats. I'm selling Youngblood, and I'm burning Cyberforce.
I don't think you could sell Youngblood. All right. Gonzo, do we have it yet, or are we still passing?
Dude, I guess I'm gonna burn Cyberforce. I'm gonna
burn Cyberforce.
Sell Wildcats.
Okay.
And you're keeping Robbie L.
Oh, geez.
And I'm gonna keep Youngblood just because. Life go.
You might
bad rock, big chest. Bad rock, more like bad choice.
Listen, I prefer to burn them all. Just get rid of them all.
Wildcats wasn't that bad, and it is good classic Jim Lee. So
hey!
It's not your turn. You're your turn, Travis, please give it to him.
All right, I'm gonna give you the definitive answer here. So here's the thing. We're keeping Wildcats. You got Jim Lee in his prime, in his proto book. You got Grifter. Who doesn't love Grifter? In fact, we've all been living the Grifter lifestyle with the COVID. We've all been living that Grifter lifestyle lately. Second of all, I would sell Cyberforce 1 because you know what? In the 90s, some people didn't want to like Wolverine because he was too commercial. So they're like, well, I'll like his broke-ass cousin, Ripclaw, in Cyberforce. And so you know you have some Ripclaw hanger-oners. Sell them this book, as you said, Marco. Suckers born every minute. And then, you know what? As my friend and I call him on Comic Exposure, because we've been to cons, we call him Rob Liefeld, because there's a long line, and I can't figure out why everyone goes to sign his book. So I'm going to give Rob Liefeld's book a fucking burn, baby.
Do you know? Okay. I'll get into it now. Okay. He doesn't actually sign that book, and I'll tell you why in a minute. Okay. So we're going to keep Cyberforce because guess what? Nobody actually remembers that title or that artist was part of Image. So he's okay. We're going to sell that thing. Wildcats, Lee, if it wasn't for Lee, there'd be no Image. I mean, honestly, like if it wasn't for Lee, if it wasn't for the Waterworks imprint, these would have they would have burned the house of Image down because McFarlane stuff wasn't doing well. It wasn't until toys came around. You can say what you want about Spawn, but please, it wasn't that good. It was not selling. If it wasn't for Lee, that house would have been on fire and burnt out, and we wouldn't have Image anymore. Jeez, we wouldn't have had Saga. We wouldn't have Stray Dogs, and we wouldn't have had Walking Dead. We wouldn't have a bunch of great titles that came out of it. As far as Youngbloods, actually, you know what? I'm going to reverse my decision. Get rid of Cyberforce. You can burn that one. I'm going to go with Youngbloods. You want to know why? Because it pisses Rob off that he doesn't have that property anymore. He won't sign this book because he sold the properties. Like it, and now they won't give the stuff back. So yeah, hey Rob, I got 2 words for you. Suck it. There you go. Keep it. I'm changing it all. I'm keeping Youngbloods now. It's a hero of a book because it pisses Rob off, and Rob's pissed a lot of people off.
Yeah.
All right, Lee, I still appreciate you. I'm selling Wildcats and Cyberforce. Unfortunately, nobody's going to remember you ever. So there you go. There it is.
I hope your fucking arthritis flares up, Rob, on those Youngblood signings.
I can't sign him. He's so mad about it. So mad about Youngblood. All right.
On a serious tip, I think I have all 3 of these first issues. I'm not like a big comic guy, so I have these long boxes from the 90s. Are any of these worth any money?
No.
Fuck them all, then. Burn them all.
No way. I know, but it's a tough decision because they're all like.
Yeah, it's fun. It was a fun one. Good choice, Marco.
All right, so that's what we got. Hey, we are more than happy. Yeah, I know he is. He is making a lot of money, Maximus. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate that. And yes, I know he's making a lot of money. Just because you make money doesn't mean you have to be a jerk off. All right. There you go. So that's that. That was that. We do have to still cover Winter Soldier, which somebody brought up earlier. Yes, we're going to cover Winter Soldier. Guys, feel free to either hit us up in the IG, send an email, send a message, send something down below. If there is a certain type of character, if you just have one book that you want us to link up with 2 other type books to link with for that segment, we will do this segment more often. If not, we're going to go back to top 5s and do top 5s to fill it in and go to once a month in that. The buy, what is it? Buy, sell, burn.
Keep, sell, or burn.
Me just ran on how artists are terrible. Okay. So there we go. We will do it. Give us any suggestion. I will try the best I can to link up similar type books to those. Leave your description down below. Who wants to cover Winter Soldier? Kyle, you love Winter Soldier, don't you?
Yeah, I love it so much that I think it's mediocre.
I'll jump in here then because I've watched it all. So I enjoyed the first this last episode. I'm watching it. What are we building up towards is the question, and that is the answer they give us in this last episode. So it becomes like, what is this thing? WandaVision was its own unique niche kind of thing. And then here we have something that falls more into the Marvel realm. It feels more reminiscent of the Marvel films. And so what are we going to do with this? How does it play in the continuity of the world? I feel, for me personally, this felt like if in Fight Club, the Mayhem Project was actually to go forth and you were to see the Mayhem Project, like the city blowing up, that would, and then you had a superhero in Chuck Palahniuk's world. That's what this would be. It would be like, how would superheroes stop the Tyler Durden Mayhem Project? So that, to me, it just these scenes of falling out of buildings and fights in a city in a dark lit setting, it just starts to get repetitive. But when we get to the juice of it, as Tupac would say, a la Stray Dogs and the Time Shoppers, is I would say that it was okay. I did feel that we have this giant summing up speech by our new Captain America, which tries to bring in like a lot of social justice. It was very on the nose. It doesn't feel conflicted enough to feel like it was organic as a speech. They had built everything up for this character to have this organic revelation about race and justice. And they put that in there and it's fine. But as we were talking about earlier with Nightcrawler as a preachy character, it felt like a lecture and a dissertation as opposed to an organic display of emotion and exasperation through our character here.
Gonzo? Yes, so I think Patrick puts out here, and I think Gonzo and Solo have similar opinions on that portion of it and on the episode overall. As far as me, you know what? If it's not for me, I just glaze over it anyways. That long speech and stuff it didn't make a difference to me pretty much. But Gonzo, go ahead. You can speak on it.
Listen, I get it. It's just, I think Travis said the best. Like if it would have came organically, yeah, I liked it. It was good. But it was just like too forced, I think. And it's just really, I was watching it and it got to the point I was like, Jesus, just shut up already. All right, let's get to the next scene now.
Too contrived.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like if it like you said, if it was organic, it flowed, you hit it. Next, it just dragged. For me, it dragged on. It literally got to the point I was like, dude, can you just shut up now? Okay, great. You're black. You got the stars.
In that,
good job.
In that Isaiah, you have Isaiah watching that speech. So if that speech was more organic, that shot of Isaiah watching that speech and that reaction was a great performance by that actor. But if he was reacting,
next time, like his son, when he saw his son the next time, he's like, hey, Black Falcon, what are you doing here? Like,
too many children are superheroes in the Marvel universe. We don't need children. We got a population crisis, people. Wrap it up.
No, but I think that was
it up.
I think that's kind of how it was too. Like, you know, I see it as an overall episode and what it does for the Marvel community. And there's a lot of people who weren't huge like comic book people that enjoy the series and that episode as a whole. As far as how long the speech was, it didn't make it real like it. I didn't see that as a thing. And I saw them when the son goes or the grandson goes, Black Falcon, as a point of people who, like you, Gonzo, was like that speech was too long. They're recognizing that it doesn't fit for every person. I think that's actually a good thing to do there. As far as like, because you guys brought up the museum thing where you're like, you thought that was good enough, and I thought the museum was like, just that was serving it on a platter. Like that was a little bit too much for me. But I mean, all in all, the episode was good. There was a lot of action in it. We knew that was a talking point that they were leading up to. How many episodes was it? It was 6 this episode, right?
Six.
Was 6 enough? I don't know. Would I watch another season? Yeah, I'd absolutely watch another season of it. You know, if they come back,
I would.
And do filler season. And that's where I get down to like, was the speech too long? When I say like it didn't make a difference, it's like the speech, if they kept it on for another 2 minutes or if they made it 2 minutes shorter, I don't think that would have made a difference on my opinion of the overall episode, which was the overall episode was good. You know what I mean? I know people pick apart stuff, and I'm not saying that Gonzo, I'm not saying you or Solo or nitpicking on it. It's something you didn't like. That's fine. I'm just saying like it didn't make the difference if the episode was good or not, in my opinion.
No, the moment was necessary and very timely and all this like that. It's just there should have been a little bit more exhaustion. It should have been a little more exasperation.
Fair enough.
The action in the episode was good, a bit formulaic as far as you feel like you've seen these action beats before, so you start to kind of tune out and fill in the blanks with your you know what's going on in your head. I do like at the end of the season, they have built this really great camaraderie between Bucky and the new Captain America, which is nice. That's a good thing. I don't like what they did with Agent Carter. Is that Carter? No, it's not Agent Carter.
Yeah, right. It's Agent Carter.
Yeah,
Is it?
I think you're getting a lot of disagreement on that.
I'm not interested in that plot line at all. Really? I don't find that character compelling whatsoever. I guess, but that's a genre issue with me. I'm not really big into the espionage genre, so that could be so. Send your hate mail to Solo Wookie at Solo Wookie. I don't know.
It's always comic book Jesus. Gonzo, give him your opinion on that Carter thing, because I thought you brought up a good point about her. I mean, it's different for sure, but
I loved her, and I remember before the Falcon and Winter Soldier even came out, they had like the Marvel Legends, and you got to see clips of Carter and her highlights throughout whatever movie she was in, and at the end it was like, to learn more, watch Falcon and Winter Soldier. And I remember when I saw that, I was like, oh, now I'm invested in the show because I want to know more about her. And then me and my son were watching it. And what was it like? She didn't show up until the second or third episode. But when she showed up, both me and him stood up and we're like, holy cow, it is about time. Like, what took so long to get her into this goddamn, into the series? But I love her. But then, like you said, I don't know if it's like military background or whatnot, but that whole espionage, that whole like,
you like that? Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Is there enough motivation for that character? Do you think they gave that character enough motivation to make that turn that she ultimately makes? I know she was burned by being exiled from her country that she was trying to protect, which is a strong motivation for her actions. but was that sold enough? Did we see the conflictedness enough in that character?
I think so, because because what was it? What's his face? The Falcon, where he's like, "Oh, I'll get you a buy, like I'll get you in," but like she's like, "Nah, like I'm gonna try to figure this out by myself because no, that's not gonna work." So I kind of liked it that she has her own drive. She's not relying on him to give a buy or whatnot. But like,
she's a strong woman, she don't need no man.
Huh? Yeah.
At the end of the day, I think opening up Mandapore as an environment in this universe and doing it fairly well is a huge win for this series. Is opening up that environment
because she pretty much runs it.
So Ryan has things too. I mean, I think I see a lot of this where they're saying like, "Hey, some of the Sam and Cap stuff was cool, but it wasn't enough for a last episode." People do want more of Sharon, which I think I would too. I'd like more of it too. But the one thing I'll say is like subtly, as much as you guys hear about the big long speeches and everything else that a lot of people are criticizing, and it's a fair point. Like you do understand subliminally, the Sam character and the Carter character are the two flips of the coin, right? They both were kind of screwed by the government, and one chose to keep going back, and then he ends up putting on the Stars and Stripes eventually and taking the shield. And the other one decides to like, no, man, you screwed me. I'm going to screw you back. Like, that's what I caught off in the end. And I thought that was really cool. And I think that's when you were asking about the play, was there enough for her to do? I think it was just so that they could use it as a vehicle to show the 2 points of views of what happens when a great government or like something you believe in with all your might screws you. You fight or flight, right? And like they showed both elements of that coin when they showed Carter do what she does, which is like go in there and go like, nah, screw you guys. Like, I don't care. I'll get it back. Yeah. And where he was like, yeah.
I was really surprised that she took the shot at whatever that girl was in charge of the faces. Yeah. Like when I heard those shots go off, I was like, oh damn. She really went there.
The point you're making is actually really interesting. I never thought about from that lens before, but I will say that if you're going to look at it through that lens, so Falcon's problem with the government is ancestral. It's something, and we see this as a coming up and again with the Isaiah character. This has happened again and again. If we're going to take that lens and put it on Carter's character, it seems more personal, which makes it a little bit more petty in terms of, hey, this is, you singled me out because I did that action from the Marvel movies. I stole the shield and I gave it back to Cap. Personal actions as opposed to ancestral race bigotry.
You mean like when two dudes walked in and stole a criminal out of a jail and let him go free and they didn't do anything to those two dudes?
Yeah.
But the female who steals a shield and gives it back and saves the whole United States gets... look, it's really deep. You can go as deep as you want on it, but I think the core of it... Look, there's a lot of smarter
people. They pardoned her at the end. They exonerated her.
Yeah, at the end, but wages are different. I mean, I think what I'm just saying is like, I think it's on both sides. Like you could take it any way you want to take it. And that's what I'm saying too. With the speech thing, you can take the speech the way you want. It was either too long, too short, or just right. All in all, I think it gave a little bit of something to everybody in this, no matter which way you want to go at it. And it was good overall. And I actually am with Gonzo. I like that Carter kit, but I like we were talking about it earlier. We're like, wait, maybe it wasn't her that was a sniper because it did look like she reloaded in that one. Yeah. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like you get a lot of different elements then that you could start playing into it. So I think there was, if you want to deep dive into this series, you can't deep dive into WandaVision. Like it was what it was. Some theory crafting or whatever. But in this one, you can actually deep dive to try to figure out like how deep the elements are.
See, I felt like the Falcon and Winter Soldier, I felt like overall that was a good story, a good way to expand the universe and all that. When I rewatching WandaVision, I can't get over like how much that was just like to sell shit.
So maybe we ended on this. What about run times? What do you prefer for a Marvel show? Do you prefer like the 45-minute long, 50-minute long episodes, or do you prefer the half an hour tight sitcom style?
I really like that 45-minute. Let it, even if you're going to do less of them, give me a good solid hour, 45 minutes to an hour of content. It plays better. It gives you a little more story time. It gives it a little more time to play out. I really enjoy that format a whole lot more.
I would have to agree. Like if as long as it's a structurally built from beginning to end, yeah, give me an hour. Give me an hour. If that means I only get like 4 episodes in one season, whatever, just give me a solid, good hour.
Yeah.
I'm all about
We're starting to see that in Invincible as well, where they're having these 40-minute cartoon episodes that really allow you to have several turns within one episode. I think I agree.
Now, here's a premise that I don't know if you guys knew about, and it's rumored they cut out a bunch of stuff from this episode because originally Black Widow was supposed to drop before this. So there was a couple of scenes where they had one of the characters from Black Widow that was supposed to be in this end shot, and then there was supposed to be another old man Steve Rogers original Captain America that was supposed to show up, and they rewrote they cut all that out because of how COVID screwed up all the filming and how they released stuff.
I hope it was David Arbor because I love that actor. He's fantastic, and I hope he somehow survives Black Widow and is able to come into this series somehow.
Well, and I think I thought they played Zemo really well, and I don't think we're done seeing Zemo. I think we're going to see a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, I really do hope Thunderbolts. I mean, like I see Patrick saying that he wanted the Bucky to be a Cap, and maybe that's because he's got a bunch of Bucky Cap books, or maybe that's because he was a fan of that run. Either way, like that's how Thunderbolts is for me. I both have a bunch of Thunderbolt books, and I both am a fan of almost all the Thunderbolt runs. There's a couple of them that whatever. But I mean, that's why I hope I get to see more Baron, because I want to see the Thunderbolts. And hopefully they do it right. And this gives hope. I mean, look, Wanda was something different. I think this was kind of tailored a little bit more towards every fan. Like this was kind of more the end game type movie. You know, where like
Wanda eventually, I just feel like Wanda was like nothing but just like a big spec show.
Yeah.
Like,
I think the fans created that part.
I was just
I think the fans created that part.
I think you're right, Kyle. I was just going to ask, was it the fans that did it, or was it the show writing that did it? And I agree.
Because I think it made everybody step back for Falcon Winter Soldier and say, okay, we're not going to do that with this one.
Well, so maybe here's the question.
People are still selling that terrible U.S. agent book for something.
Maybe here's the question. Maybe here's the question to end with then, because I think the order was different. I think Falcon Winter Soldier was supposed to be first before WandaVision. Maybe does that sound right? Like as far as the release dates of it, and they switched around. Would WandaVision have been as successful if it came after this show that we've now seen all their episodes of?
WandaVision would have been successful if there wasn't COVID. Because if there was other crap going on, if you could go to a movie theater and you could watch, you could stream stuff, if like they were still producing the stuff that they did on Netflix where you could just binge watch, do remember that like this stuff that's happening on Disney Plus and this method that they're using where they're going back to series wasn't so popular when you could produce a bunch of stuff and you could still binge watch. It wasn't until there was no movies anymore and there was no studios doing anything that it became acceptable. I mean, like even look at Mandalorian, the first season compared to the second one.
I do have to agree.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, I know sometimes it seems like everybody wants the easy answer, but maybe it's a little bit more complicated than we think. Maybe it's not just like, oh, would it fit? Maybe it's like the outside element that's coming in that takes a difference to it, and that's it. I mean, in my opinion, whatever.
I thought it was good though. Overall, I thought I enjoyed Falcon and Winter Soldier a lot more than I enjoyed Wanda. I think they're both really good. But I'd have to lean into the A margin on this one. I thought the story was good. I like the run times. I'd give it an A for the whole series.
The series is good. That's a lot of A's.
Phenomenal. From like my son, who I watched it with, we watched the first one. We're like, what? Like do they have what's going on? Like we were fully engaged the whole time. And my son, who doesn't read comics at all, like he's just in it just for the pure entertainment, the action. He knows, he knows the names, but he doesn't know anything about them. And for him, like he loved it. He couldn't wait for the next one. And that was like the same thing after each episode. Like, oh man, what's next? What's next? What's next? And so like I agree with Wookie. Like overall, like I think the whole season was great.
Good. Yeah. I mean, I think it's good. I mean, I know everybody's looking forward to Loki. I think there's gonna, like I said, we're looking forward to a couple different things too. So I hope it happens. Hey guys, don't forget to go down, make sure you hit the bell, make sure you subscribe.